I want to do it because it's fun. It's fun to do bad things.
So did you know that you could perhaps kill somebody?
It's the greatest podcast in the world.
Yes, but I wanted to do hood rat stuff with my friends.
For all of this?
Just a little bit no video games for a whole weekend. I took my drum car because I got mad at my mom, and then I saw her and my friend come in, and he smoked cigarette. So I yanked the thing.
Man, that's really disorienting because I don't hear anything, and then all of a sudden you start talking.
Oh, you don't hear anything? That's funny because I hear the whole motherfucking thing, dude.
Well, it comes through on my computer, but not on my mixer.
Oh,
so
what is up, motherfuckers? Say I Won't Podcast, Season 3, Episode 19. My name is Edgar.
And this is Isaac Chase, former father and co-host of the Say I Won't podcast.
Former father? Shit.
I was watching some Adult Swim
Nice.
sketches yesterday, and there's a real funny one. But it doesn't translate, so I'm not gonna share it with you.
Not gonna share it.
Their infomercials are quite funny. I think I've sent a few.
Little bitch. What the fuck happened to your face?
I'm assuming he's talking to you.
He's talking to you. No way he'd be talking to me. We should play a game. Did Edgar have a beard or not?
Before Texas, did Texas change you?
Did Texas change me? It did not.
Where? What part of Texas were you in again?
Fort Worth.
Fort Worth. Oh, I should have sent you over to say hi to Mike over at 6 trainee. No, Mike. His last name is escaping me at the moment.
Oh.
You know, Mike.
You know that guy, Mike.
Yeah. So, how was being a student?
Hated it.
How long was the class?
Of it. 8 hours.
8 hours.
8 grueling hours.
That is a long time to hold your attention.
Oh my God.
Since I know your attention span is about 15 minutes.
Oh, not even that.
So, this was a level 1 handgun class?
I don't know what he calls it, but yeah, there's no prerequisites.
Okay. What did you guys start with? How to hold the gun?
Nope.
You can make me guess.
No, we started off with it was about an hour worth of class conversation,
Mm-hmm.
talking about just basic shit, goals, and what to expect, and how differently he teaches, and what to expect from that, and then what to expect from yourself.
And what
And
did you expect from yourself?
I expect. Well, look at that shit. I expected to. I came at this from a different angle. I mean, you and I know what our goals are. And I went there to observe. Really, I already knew that Pincus and myself have very similar philosophies. We both hate individuals that do the tack vest shit and do the tacky lights and do the
Plate carriers?
plate carriers and all the douchey shit, shot timers and all that stuff. So our philosophies are pretty much the same. So I was there to kind of just, our end goal is just to make sure I understand the product.
That's a good point of view. Distracts you from the feeling of being like you're being taught.
Correct. No, I mean, I certainly learned a few things. Not so Pincus has been doing this shit for 10,000 years. I think he's like 80,000 years or some shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
And he's been doing it. He's old as fuck, and he's been doing this shit for since the 90s. So since all you motherfuckers were in diapers, this motherfucker's been at it. And so for me, it's just as somebody who's ESL and doesn't see too many people teach the way that I would like to see teach. You see way too many instructors with the shot timers and the fucking plate carriers and the fucking 13,000 magazines, and let's do the tack reloads and the fucking administrative reloads and then fucking the cooter fucking punch and all that shit.
I love the I love the complete non sequiturs there. Admin reloads, cooter punch.
Cooter punch. And so to be able to again, as an ESL Mexican, to be able to absorb the information that he's teaching in the way that I've always seen it and be worded in a certain way, that was for me really good. It's just like, that's what the fuck I've been trying to say. Like, that's the way I've been wanting to word it. But you don't see instructors like that. So you've got these ideas in your head. Speaking of Gun Jesus, it just like, it's already there. So for me, it was just like, that's exactly what the fuck I've been trying to say for quite some time.
So just to be clear, Pincus does not wear a plate carrier during his class?
3 of them.
Oh, okay.
As he was doing the fucking temple index. And
he's got the soft vest underneath, plate carrier, and
shot timer.
Full flak jacket.
Shot timer.
Over the plate carrier.
Shit.
Got it. Okay.
No, it just, for me, it was good. It's nice. Because you know how I've talked shit about that shit for a very long time.
What?
What? Been talking shit about that stuff for a very long time. And you don't find other instructors that are kind of on that same page. So it's, for me, it was nice. It was nice to observe. Took a lot of notes down, which is unusual for me when I'm in a class setting. Oh, you know who else was like that? And I didn't even tell him because I yelled at him for fucking having my phone number. Is Chris.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the way he did the class was pretty good.
You took notes for that class?
Mental notes, anyways.
Mental notes, yeah.
Yeah.
So you got in trouble for shooting too good.
Too good. I got in trouble for shooting too good.
I
so
think
what
I
am I
know
weaknesses?
I think I know what you got in trouble for.
What's that?
For not going faster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and that's my weakness. So, if from the education standpoint, if I was going to learn anything, that's what I wanted to get better at, because that I've known about myself. That is my weakness, is speed.
Mm-hmm.
I don't do speed very well, and it's not that I was on purpose. It was just I can't. I just this little fucking booger hook.
Mm-hmm.
As many fucking cooters I fucking played with, like this doesn't.
You have a set speed.
It just fucking.
it's
I hear
muscle,
out too much if it goes any faster than that.
It's muscle memory, dude. You got to break out of those training scars.
So yeah, it was definitely speed.
So that explains one thing that I've been wondering for a while, which is why back in April you only got one round off.
Oh yeah. No, that was a calculated thing. It wasn't even that. It was a calculated thing.
1 + 0 = 1. So the bald head with the well-groomed beard is starting to make sense now. So you took some mental notes and you started looking like Pincus, as well as dressing like him.
That was all accidental.
I don't ever shave my head with a razor, but apparently you do.
Mm-mm.
That's not a razor?
Nope.
Oh, did all your hair just fall out?
I would just fucking I fucking hate the student teeth shit. No, I use I use an electric razor. I don't use I don't use a razor.
So that's good to hear. That's good to hear that I think that was the whole goal of going in the first place, was kind of understanding the process of how his ICE training training curriculum is built, kind of from the ground up, understanding to use the trade name combat focused shooting, and understanding that as a student before you understand it as an instructor. So
if anybody takes a class with Pincus, which I recommend, and only the people who've taken a class with you and with myself will understand this. It's basically taking a class with a hybrid version. So he's very fucking methodical on explaining shit.
Mm-hmm.
And then the shooty part gets a little bit more intense in that stuff. But before you shoot, he kind of does what you do. And it's just like, let's spend fucking 10, 15 minutes rehearsing this shit.
Mm-hmm.
Not dry fire type stuff, but like, let's mentally start fucking understanding the concept. Yeah. Which I'm horrible at. I'm like, hey, this is what the fuck we're going to do. Just fucking do it. And then
that's how I am with my kids. I'm not like that with regular students, but with my kids, I'm definitely like that. So
yeah.
I had a class this weekend on Saturday with a bunch of brand new gun owners going over gun handling and stuff.
Yeah.
And we did a lot of that rehearsal stuff, and I think it made a big difference as opposed to the way I normally teach that class. I decided to spend more time just rehearsing the movement repetitively and getting them to, on their own, repeat it as many times as they could. So got good results, and nobody got shot. So that's always a good class as far as I'm concerned. As long as nobody gets shot, the rest of it's all gravy.
Scouts asked, no, this is not decaf. I don't do decaf, because if you drink decaf, what's the fucking point?
Yeah, otherwise it's just gross. it's just rotten water. So it has been an extremely eventful week.
Why?
Well,
so we had what I didn't think was going to happen.
The debate.
Yeah,
I right up until the moment it happened, I was like, this isn't going to happen.
Not going to happen.
And man, whatever they've got Biden on, give me some of that. Because they brought him back from the dead.
Oh, dude.
He did a fantastic job staying alive during that debate.
I never I didn't watch it. I was actually doing a Spanish podcast.
Oh yeah, I did see. I didn't watch it obviously because
Yeah.
I don't speak Spanish. But
Yeah.
you did a podcast with who was that with?
So he owns a company. It's called Ludus PMC. This is out of Mexico. He's in the city of Mexico.
The city of Mexico.
Yeah, it's that's what it's called now.
Is it?
Yeah, it's not the F anymore.
Wait, are we talking about Mexico City?
Yeah, the city of Mexico, Mexico City. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Is there a problem?
It's just the language barrier.
That's the it's still the city of Denver, the city of I don't say Denver City, fucker, but yeah, Mexico City.
Yeah.
So he's in the great city of Mexico, which is near the state of Mexico, which is in the country of Mexico.
So
and yeah,
which is now old Mexico.
which is now old Mexico. It used to be the United States, the Mexican United States, and they got rid of that. Now they're just Mexico. It's no longer the Mexican United States. They did a lot of changes. Yeah, it's not the DF anymore, dude. No longer the DF. No longer. It's just City of Mexico, Mexico City.
All right. So, and you guys were discussing the Second
Just-
Amendment. Well, I mean, for lack of a better term,
Correct.
the Second Amendment in Mexico.
In Mexico and the mood out there, and we were talking about how crazy active although very small community of shooters. I think he said it was like 0.01% of the population are gun owners and active, but of the ones that are actually active, fucking shit, are they active? So pretty big. I think his following, I think he's got like 250,000 followers or some shit like that.
So is he a competitive shooter as well?
Yeah, but not primarily. So he's not a world-class competitor. Yeah, he does the competitive stuff. He trains more than anything else. He's an instructor. And he actually, the way it was weird as shit. Because I was looking for somebody to and this was pure fucking coincidence. I was looking for instructors in Mexico to interview, and then I go to this dude's website. So this is what intrigued me. So this is the dude's website, and then I clicked on the courses and see if you see something.
Hey, wait a minute. That's weird. So is he trained with Pincus?
Yeah. So
Is he a certified? I mean, not a certified, but has he taken the instructor class?
yeah, that's why he's able to teach it.
Oh wow, what a small world!
Fucking tiny. So I hit him up. I was like, "Hey, you know this fucker?" He's like, "Yeah, I know that fucker." You know that fucker? He's like, "Yeah, I know that fucker." Because initially I was like, "Hey, somebody's trying to steal his shit."
Mm-hmm.
That was my first thought of my fucking paisanos. It wasn't like, "Oh shit, he took a class." It's like, this dude's Mexican. He fucking stole it.
Thief. All Mexicans are intellectual property thieves. There we go. There's a thread title for you.
So no, that was good shit. I'm gonna try and do more of those for the Spanish community. But yeah, all that to say, I didn't watch the debate because of that. And then the little bits that I did watch after that shit, holy shit, man! I was like, will somebody just shut the fuck up?
I thought that I thought the same thing when I was watching it. I was just like, God, this sucks,
Yeah.
But then after I thought about it a little bit, I listened to some parts over again. I think that they need to change the debate format to accommodate the arguing that goes back and forth.
Yeah.
I think they just need to give each other those sock and bopper, those big inflatable hands, and let them use those to assert their point. So get them closer, less than 6 feet away, and then just let them beat the hell out of each other with those sock and boppers.
Yeah.
And then whoever's still on their feet gets to talk, and the other guy has to get up. Which both of these guys in their mid 70s, that could take a while, especially with Trump having breathing difficulties. I do think that it was interesting. I mean, it was embarrassing to watch them conduct themselves like children, but I thought it was really interesting. I thought it was very fun to watch in some ways.
Yeah.
And I really liked Chris Wallace struggling like a fool through the whole thing.
Yeah,
I laughed so many times. Excuse me.
So it was interesting. I think this is the only time that I watched in part a debate, even because I didn't watch the whole thing. I watched only some debates in their entirety, and this is really the only time where I'm like, yeah, I'm not gonna learn anything from either of these two fucking idiots. Like stuff that I really don't know. When I watched the Obama and Romney and Obama and McCain, although with McCain I was already sure about who I was going to vote for, I still watched the debates, and still was intrigued by a lot of what Obama was saying. Like if you looked at it like, oh, like that shit sounds cool, like that's it, that makes sense. When he did it with Romney again, I already disliked Obama a lot more because I already had 4 years of his fucking dumbass. But when he came in again, I was still able to objectively say, oh, he still has a few cool things that he has to say. I mean, he's the president; he should fucking probably implement those, or at least try. But I was already a little bitter about him because he had 2 years to fucking fix immigration, and outside of guns, that's one key point for me is immigration. And that fucker didn't do a motherfucking thing. He didn't give a fuck about Mexicans at all. That's another thing. And then fast forward to Clinton,
Trump versus Clinton. That was probably the last great debate we had.
Yeah, and
because it was so different than usual, but
it was still good.
It was still good. Yeah,
it was good. Like the back and forth between both of them was good. It was Clinton has nothing good to fucking say. Like there's nothing that she can say, but it was still a good debate. It was still
wrong.
And
that's right, because you'd be in jail.
And here we are 4 years later.
So
you lost that bet too, huh?
I did lose that bet. I did. I lost $100 on that bet. Yeah. I don't regret it though, because I still want to believe it. So Obama versus McCain, that was the last debate I watched where I believed a politician. That I believed anything they said.
Yeah.
Obama versus Romney, I was drunk live tweeting. That was fun. I had a lot of fun doing that. I didn't believe either one of them. I thought they were both the Antichrist.
Yeah.
And Trump versus Clinton, I actually didn't even watch. I saw the highlights from that one.
Yeah.
But I liked the format, though, of giving them each microphones and they could wander around the stage.
Correct.
Because Trump was following Clinton around like the ghost of Christmas past, just getting in her head. And I think this is where Trump really, really failed in this debate. He had an opportunity to get into Biden's head, and he blew it because he was playing a game that I don't think he really needed to play. He was playing to his base, and you don't need to play to your base right now. You need to destroy your opponent.
Dude, I seen it live when they asked him, hey, right now, look at the fucking camera. and say racism is bad. He was like,
Mhm.
well, what do you want me to say? Like, it just like at that moment, I was like, if there is a winner, like Biden's gonna take it because of that. Like, if there's a winner.
So I heard a supercut today or yesterday of Trump doing that, of him, disavowing white supremacists or
Yeah.
blah 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 blah. And I was like, holy crap, I'd never heard this before.
Correct.
He's done it a whole bunch
A
of
lot of
times.
times, correct.
But this is the first time
Correct.
he has had 70 million people
Correct.
watching,
Correct.
and you blew that. You
This
could have
was
leaned into the mic. I disavow
correct.
all white supremacists, which he has said before. He
Correct.
has no problem saying that,
Correct.
and he completely blew it. And yeah, he did try with Hunter Biden. He tried, and I think that if he had been a little bit more tactful about Hunter Biden, he would have been able to use that. But
Mhm.
I had, if Trump had called me like I asked him to, I had the perfect question for Trump to ask Biden. And that is, do you have a listening device in your ear? to just get under his skin, or even if he doesn't ask the question, just say, well, you can, it's easy for you to answer when you've got a speaker in your ear telling you what to say.
Yeah.
Because Biden would have stumbled over that, because even if he's not doing it at the debate, he does do it. He does have an earpiece in from time to time telling him what to say. And so Biden knows it's true.
Yeah.
And then also he had an opportunity to rib him about teleprompters, rib him about forgetting that he was running for president, and just going after the fact that what everybody knows, which is Biden is losing his mind.
Yeah.
And this is why I think Biden ultimately won the debate, is because he came out looking like he's fine, like he's not losing his mind.
Yeah. This is what I was afraid of. If again, I don't give a shit. I'm not going to vote for either of them.
And what a low bar for winning a debate.
Yeah, correct. Oh yeah, dude. It's crazy. But this is exactly what I was afraid of would happen if they actually debated. Because I think a month ago when we were talking about this, I said the best thing for Trump is for there to be no debates.
Mm-hmm.
That is like legit the best thing for Trump. And this is exactly why. It's like I don't know. He just, if he was trying to win, he wasn't showing it.
So I believe, I'm not sure if this is true, but I believe there was a moment in the debate where Biden brought up the fact that Biden or Wallace brought up the fact that Trump used force to clear protesters so that he could have a photo op at a church in D.C. And it's true. That was like a disgusting moment in PR history for
Correct.
that to happen. But Trump should have just turned around and said, well, yeah, but Biden's supporters set that church on fire.
Correct.
Like, there's so many missed opportunities.
Correct.
So
you didn't get the Trump that you wanted in that debate. Like,
No.
even if you don't like Trump,
mm-hmm.
you didn't get the Trump you wanted in that debate, because you wanted the fucking sinister fucking piece of shit, fucking fuck you and your mom all at the same time, and again, you didn't get it. Like,
the general word coming from sources in the White House, which I rarely trust, but in this case it does sound true, it does make sense, is that he wasn't preparing for the debate in a way that people normally prepare for debates. He was preparing by talking about different topics with people and just kind of sparring back and forth.
Yeah.
And I think that's why he came off as very disorganized and, without a plan. And ultimately, I was actually surprised at Biden. I was surprised at how lucid he was. I was surprised at how, generally speaking, how composed he was, even though he eventually told Trump to shut up, which I thought was hilarious. The only thing Biden had to do was not fall asleep. Here's where Biden made a couple of big mistakes. Biden kept looking directly into the camera to talk to the American people, and he would hold it too long, and it came off like it came off as creepy. I don't know what it is about him, but he has dead eyes. His eyes are completely black in the camera. He used to have blue eyes, I think, but he's just a demon now. So it was a creepy move. I really do think he had a listening device in his ear. If you watched his body language, there were moments, well, even if it wasn't a listening device, there was something on his body that was stimulating him, because you could see his head drifting around, his gaze was wandering, and his mouth was falling open. He looked lost, and then all of a sudden he would snap to attention and look at the camera and just hold it. And it was really odd. If you if you watch it, it's like it looks like he's being shocked into looking at the camera. So yeah, exactly. Shock collar. Yeah. So, and he did have a wire on him, a butt plug vibrator. That'll wake you up. So anyway, so we had the debate. And
I know what else.
and then Trump comes down with COVID a couple days later, and half of the White House staff and 4 senators and Chris Christie and who God knows who else running around with the Rona all of a sudden.
Oh, they all
And-
have the Rona?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you knew, but there was a lot of people who caught it. Kayleigh McEnany, the press secretary, she's got it. Yeah, Chris Christie has to. He's probably not going to survive. He has a pre-existing condition.
Fat
and
is not pre-existing. I know.
and then he, I'm sorry, 4 senators, 4 Republican senators. I don't know if any Democrats have caught it. Probably because they're all wearing masks. That's probably it.
All wearing masks.
Yeah.
No Democrat in the history of all of this has caught the COVID.
So, yeah, it was weird. It was weird. It was a weird moment because there were a lot of people who honestly thought the president was about to die. And then you have half the country is like, what? You know, chill. It's no big deal. It's not like he got shot in the head.
Just Corona.
So, yeah. And then what else on top of that? Oh, we had another negligent discharge at an NFAC rally.
Nice.
Did you hear about that?
I heard about it today. It's
Those guys can't catch a break, man. I guess that's the third one.
yeah, dude. I don't know when they're gonna be like just stop and be like, okay, we need to call an instructor and
Well,
get this shit all figured out.
this is if I had to guess, I'd say this is a reflection of bad leadership. This
absolutely.
Grandmaster Jay guy sets a leadership example. If you can't tell me anything, I'm the smartest man on earth. And apparently he said that NDs are going to happen and there's nothing you could do about it. So
That's crazy.
yeah. So the guy who fired the ND at the last rally apparently was a felon in possession, which also doesn't look good. You got to think about optics. You have to think about optics. And that's not good optics.
No, not at all, dude. It's yeah, I don't know what the fuck he's thinking, dude. Like I'm trying to formulate a thought for him, and I just it's one of those moments where it's just like I don't even know what the fuck to say because he's fucking retarded, dude.
He is he's a scam artist from my point of view. I watched the video he filmed at the end of the day after the ND happened. He did like a 6-minute YouTube live or Instagram live or whatever. And I'm watching it. I'm like, this guy is sick in the head. And
Was he just justifying or what the fuck?
he was blaming everything on the media. And he starts out with shalom, you know, and he's like, shalom, brothers, shalom, sisters. And
He's
and
Jewish?
then, no, but he uses that as a jumping off point of like this weird I don't know what the word is, this weird arrogance. And it's hard to describe.
He has a lot of people have this delusion of grandeur.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it is. It's a delusion of grandeur. Like, I am so important that the only way I can greet people is to use, you know, anachronistic or archaic or otherwise highfalutin greetings because that's what I do. you know, and yeah, and then he goes on to just start talking. He talks like he wishes he was Malcolm X. And
He's no Malcolm X.
but he doesn't have the intellectual capacity of Malcolm X. You know, he's a cheap fake. He's a cheap Malcolm X fake. Malcolm X was well educated. I doubt this guy is well educated. It's like he's putting on the Malcolm X suit. I think he even cuts his hair like Malcolm X's hair.
Yeah.
So I do honestly think that this NFAC thing is suffering from very, very bad leadership. And then, you know, that's, if that's the case, then it's not based in truth and reality. It's based in, you know, a grudge to settle.
Correct.
And you look at other people in this same space, people like Kevin Dixie or Maj or what's his face, Argo J.
Yeah.
You know, they're coming from a place of like, here's my experience, here's what I believe, and I want to be saying correct things. I mean, it's going to have my point of view attached to it, but I want to be saying correct things, not just pushing an agenda or pushing an idea. So, yeah, that I didn't even know that, but I wouldn't have doubted it. Richard said he keeps posting pictures of Malcolm and him as a comparison. I think he actually does kind of look like Malcolm X too, which probably doesn't help. So he's got.
Looks like Denzel Washington.
Does Denzel Washington? You know, I've never seen that movie. I got to see that.
No.
I think Malcolm X is a pretty interesting character that I know very little about. So.
Yeah, watching a Denzel movie will fucking give you everything you need to know about Malcolm X.
I'll watch that, and I'll watch Training Day, and then I'll have black people all figured out.
Or at least Malcolm X.
Or at least Malcolm X. Or at least Denzel. Yeah. So that was interesting. It seems like the protests and the rioting have calmed down since last week, and I don't really know what to attribute that to.
People are afraid of getting fucking their arms blown off.
Maybe. Although I think it did ramp up for a little while after that happened, but I think that there has been a crackdown. I've been reading stories about a bunch of people getting arrested and catching federal charges. They're not being arrested at the protest necessarily, but they're being tracked down afterwards and thrown in federal prison. And maybe that's doing it. I do want to talk about something that I found out about. Where is this link? Where did I put this link? Oh, I put it in the show notes. Huh.
Show notes.
I read a very Thank you for giving me time to get there. I read a very interesting article in Reason on Reason.com, and I normally really don't like Reason, but this was a really
They've gone crazy, dude. Reason has gone like retarded.
Well,
they used
I think they all have, really.
Yeah.
I don't know really of any news source, any blog or any news source that hasn't gotten crazy. But let's see. Let me open this up real quick. So this was an interview done with a person who has infiltrated Antifa, and she has the perfect cover to do that because she's trans. And I think if you're trans, you're going to get a free pass to join Antifa because nobody's going to believe that you're a Republican. So she has embedded herself with Antifa, not just recently, but basically over the last few years. She's been slowly just hanging out with them, going to riots and going to demonstrations. And she was at Portland one night while they're trying to...
Can't be there, though, dude.
Why not?
Because Antifa is only an idea.
That's true. Although I think people misunderstood what Biden meant by that. I could be wrong, but what Biden said was your own FBI director said that Antifa was not an organization; it was an idea. So you could take that two different ways. You could take that as if that's proof that Antifa is not an organization, or you could take that as your own administration doesn't even agree with you on this. You know, how can
Bitch.
you come at me with that?
Bitch.
You could take it either way, but a lot of people thought that Biden was stating his own opinion
Got it.
in that quote, but he
Makes sense.
was quoting the FBI. So basically, I linked this in the show notes. It's really worth the read. You definitely should read this. Not you, Edgar, because you
I
don't
don't
read.
read.
But anybody else?
I don't read. That's why I say the city of Mexico instead of Denver City.
The idea here for Antifa is there is a very small group of people who are within the quote block, BLOC block, that organize things, and then they just welcome participation by anybody who wants to dress in black and start breaking things.
Yeah.
And that way they get really good participation levels, but very little actual understanding of what the organization is. It's a pretty common revolutionary tactic, but it's very sophisticated when it's done right. And there's a link in here to Grant Park. There was an attack on the police in Grant Park in Chicago, and a couple of people have done a breakdown of how that attack happened, how it was formed, and how it was executed. It's a very sophisticated attack. But one of the things that I thought was most interesting in here is that Antifa's strategy is to push the envelope on provoking the police into violence. So they're not at all trying to engage and fight with the police. They're trying to provoke the police to beat them up.
Correct.
And they do. They get better at it as time goes on. They start adapting to the police tactics, and they just bait them into beating them up, and then they get it on video, and they use that to, make their point publicly that the police are violent, and then they also use it, to recruit people into the group. And it's pretty scary if you think about an organization working this coordinated on a regular basis in this country, because it does make the cops look horrible. I mean, you saw that cop push that guy down in Rochester and split his head open.
The old man.
The old man who was Antifa, based on my understanding of what Antifa
That old man
is.
ended up dying?
No, I think he had a brain bleed or something.
Oh,
I mean, if you believe the mainstream media.
the mainstream media.
I think he was a plant. I don't think he was a real guy. I think the cops
fake.
I think the cops pushed a dummy down.
You don't believe the mainstream media until you want them to cover something that's important to you. Then you call out on the mainstream media to cover it.
Yeah. So if people are interested about Antifa, you should read this article. It's quite interesting.
Yeah.
And this person, she's very very brave, I would say, because if they found out, who she was or what she was doing, I think they would pretty much rip her apart. Yeah. So Miguel said that Biden said that white supremacy was the highest threat to America during the debate. Did he say that? I don't know if he said that.
I don't know.
Maybe he did. But if he did say that, that's proof why you should not vote for this dude. He doesn't know what he's talking about. We all know what the biggest threat to America is.
Government.
China.
China.
So, So anyway, it was an interesting article. I linked the show notes in the YouTube comments. I'll do it in the Facebook comments. All right. So what else you got? How was Fort Worth?
Fort Worth was actually nice, dude. I didn't get to see much of it, but it was actually nice. Clean city, didn't smell like New York. Fucking tiny, dude. I thought it was gonna be a larger city, but no, it's pretty tiny. But it was good. I mean, I was only there Friday and Saturday, and most of the time I was indoors. But
which range were you at? Give that a.
We were at a place called Defender Outdoors.
Shooting inside.
Yeah, Defender Outdoor shooting inside. Let me see if I can go to. Oh, it was fucking nice. Nice facility.
So Fort Worth, Dallas Fort Worth does not have Backpage.
Yeah, well, Backpage doesn't exist anymore.
Right.
That doesn't exist anymore. But there's another place called the Other Board, and they don't have a Texas listing. Motherfuckers,
The whole state.
this whole state doesn't have. And then I took my guns and I was like, oh, I'm going to carry. And I'm like, oh, I can't because I'm going to go out to eat. And the place where I'm going to go out to eat serves alcohol.
Oh, no. You don't understand. Texas is the #1 state in the country for Second Amendment.
Number one, dude. So much that it was basically fucking pointless for me to carry anywhere because either there were signs or there was alcohol that was being served there. So I was just like, well, I can't fucking do this. So
yeah,
I'm not gonna carry a fucking gun because Texas, it really became fucking pointless for me to try and carry out in Texas.
Did you bring your medical kit?
I did.
Yes. All right. Good for you.
Yeah, I took my medical kit.
What a guy. What a guy.
I will say this though. In terms of not losing guns, that airport is not not very good at that shit.
Did you have a pucker moment?
No, I didn't, but it was a like what the fuck moment because I'm not looking at this from a terrorist standpoint. I'm just looking at this from just random thievery standpoint. So go to Denver. You know the process in Denver. They did this at both airports. They have you sign saying that it's not loaded, whatever, and it goes inside the box, which is weird because they can't get into the box. So why the fuck would that little note be inside the box? But whatever. They have you swear that it's not loaded, close it back up, and then take you to that weird machine that fucking scans it, even though you already told them that it's a fucking gun. And they had you open it in the whole nine. But anyways, in Dallas, I don't know if you've landed at that airport.
It's been a long time, but yes, I have.
So fucking our taxi was like fucking 30 minutes to the fucking gate. That's how far away the planes fucking land from that bitch. And so we get there. I go to baggage claim. I asked the dude. He was like, no, he's just going to show up with the other luggage. I was like, so you're telling me my gun is just going to show up with the rest of the fucking luggage? He's like, yeah, it just shows up with the other luggage. I was like, oh, that's fucking amazing. So in terms of safety, it's just
did it?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So it just shows up with the fucking regular fucking luggage. And then when in Denver, it was, I mean, it's not the greatest fucking thing, but a little bit more thought behind it as far as security and shit like that. Again, not from a terror standpoint, but just people not stealing your shit standpoint.
Mm-hmm.
Go check in at in Dallas to fly back, and nothing. No, open it up. No, nothing. No scanner. No, nothing special. It's just like, oh, okay, cool, whatever, and then just fucking throw it in the bins, and then ta-da! Like that's it.
Ta-da! Yeah, it's I'm gonna play a clip here in a minute.
Do you want me to play this clip?
No, that can wait. That's for a little bit later. Okay. To illustrate the point that explaining and understanding and carrying out a set of rules, there's no guarantee that anybody is going to do it correctly. And man, if I was so inclined, if I was a bad guy, if I was a criminal, man, I would just set up shop at the Dallas airport waiting for guns to come off the carousel.
Oh, dude, just wait for a red tag. Because anybody, like, now I know all I got to worry about is that fucking red tag on Dallas.
Yep.
So if you're in a fucking DFW airport, you want new guns, just wait for the fucking red tag. And you're wearing a mask, so
yeah.
You're supposed to wear a mask. So if I could just wait for the red tags coming out of fucking conveyor belts, and you've got yourself a new fucking gun.
Yeah. So there was a police chase that happened in Polk County, Florida, a couple days ago, and the sheriff of this town of Polk County was explaining what happened. And this sheriff is for all intents and purposes, he's a total FUD. And I don't know what his position on guns and whether he cares about ARs. I'm calling him a FUD because of the way he tells the story.
Yeah.
The story is like, well, this individual got it in his head one day that he was going to steal a car. He used the 2 brain cells he had left to go walk down the street, and and it's just like this long, drawn out, not entertaining at all story full of old man euphemisms and idioms that are just dated and dumb. But this is a press conference, so after he's done talking to the press about what happened, he had mentioned in the exchange when he was talking that when he carjacked one guy, that guy was armed and that guy could have shot him, which is totally true in Florida. If you're getting carjacked, you can shoot the guy even if he doesn't have a gun. If he is carjacking you, there's an implied threat of serious bodily harm or death in that carjacking. He's not stealing a car, he is carjacking you. So there's a difference there in the property crime versus the versus defending yourself. That's not that hard to explain, right?
Yeah.
Well, you would think if you're the top law enforcement person in the county, you'd be able to explain that to a reporter, right?
Correct.
So here we go.
Sheriff, you're not allowed to use deadly force for a property crime.
Oops, hold on.
Well, because
Let me back that up. So this is the reporter asking the question.
Sheriff, you're not allowed to use deadly force for a property crime. Why do you say he would have been justified in killing him?
well, because that is a first off, he tried a carjacking with a lady, and then he was doing a burglary of a vehicle, and he was in the string of a group of felonies at the time.
All right, so we're just going to pause it right there. This guy is on TV talking about justification for use of deadly force, and so far he's basically just giving people the right to shoot anybody for any kind of property crime, the way he's describing this. So we keep going here.
That sounds pretty shaky.
It is if you're the suspect. I guarantee you, when you start trying to carjack somebody's car at a gas station, you're subject to get shot, and shot a lot.
Did he have a weapon?
She doesn't have to have a weapon, brother. You can carjack with just pure violence and force.
Stealing a car.
He was trying to carjack the First Lady. She was gassing
What
up.
does that do with the gun owner?
It's all the same thing. It's all the same event.
You don't think that's a dangerous message you're putting out to Polk County citizens?
That is an absolute correct message I'm putting out to Polk County citizens. You try to break into somebody's car and steal it while they're there with it, that's called armed carjacking.
He just said the guy didn't have a weapon.
No weapon.
Who wasn't armed?
The other guy was armed. You don't look at individual events. You look at the string of violent felonies he was committing. And that's a violent felony to try to take somebody's car from them with force, with or without a weapon. And you're sending the wrong message. The message is you don't have to have a firearm. You don't have to have a knife to be a dangerous individual. And if you come to this county, and if you use extreme violence to try to carjack somebody from their car, if you get shot, that's on you. You can protect yourself and your property.
I think some attorneys would disagree with you, but you're the sheriff, so.
I don't care. That's what the attorneys do. Attorney's attorney. But I can tell you right now, you come to this county and you do this string of violent stuff, you're blessed. You're blessed because that man up at that store had the right to protect himself. He had the right to protect his property. He had the right to protect that lady. That lady had the right to protect herself and her property. Come on, man.
Come on,
He
man.
busted out with the "come on, man."
Come on, man. He shacked it up. Come on, man.
And if you watch the video, he is like shaking. He's so flustered by this this string of questions that he is shaking, And it's just like, dude, you're the sheriff?
I would be super surprised and be shocked if we weren't going through the same thing with somebody who is in the same position in a different county, different
Oh,
state.
You mean the sheriff whose county is very small compared to El Paso County and is still taking the full 90 days to process permit applications?
Yes.
Who is still taking 9 weeks to schedule appointments? That guy?
Yes, that guy.
Yeah, yeah.
That guy.
Who are you talking about? I have no idea who you mean.
Because we've seen the level of incompetence with sheriffs, man.
So these,
It's
okay,
crazy.
this
Because
is
he's gonna get somebody, far beyond restricting somebody from their constitutional privileges, like this other sheriff's doing. Somebody takes him seriously, dude. Because how many times do you hear in class, well, a cop said drag him in?
right.
It's just like, no, dude, like if you do that shit, you're going to fucking jail.
I
Well, a
could,
cop said it'd be better to just fucking kill him dead.
that sheriff said that anybody who comes to Polk County and does a burglary of a car is gonna get shot and shot a lot. That's what he said. Well, that is what he said.
That's crazy, dude.
It's not true.
That shit's fucking bonkers.
And I can follow what he's saying because I've been through this so many times
Yeah.
with people, and I understand what he's trying to say. But man, I'm like,
Dude, when a reporter's like, listen, dude, I don't think you know what the fucking law is,
and
but
by the way, maybe he's had enough experiences with reporters to know that he needs to be 100% clear if he has any hope that that reporter's going to relay what he said with any kind of truthfulness,
yeah.
Or accuracy is the word.
So
I'm
for you
looking
motherfuckers in Colorado, 181706, use the physical force in defense of a property, which a vehicle is. A person is justifying using reasonable and appropriate physical force upon another person when and to the extent that he reasonably believes it is necessary to prevent what he reasonably believes to be an attempt by the other person to commit theft, criminal mischief, or criminal tampering involving property. But he may only use deadly physical force under these circumstances only in defense of himself or another as described in 181704.
And 181704 says,
In subsection 2, deadly physical force may be used only if a person reasonably believes a lesser degree of force is inadequate and the actor has reasonable grounds to believe and does believe that he or another person is in imminent danger of being killed or receiving great bodily injury, or the person is using or reasonably appears about to use physical force against an occupant of a dwelling or business establishment while committing or attempting to commit burglary, which, by the way, if we go to 184202, which we will, fuck it, let's go, 184202, right? 18420 402. Oh no, 184, right? I'm in 181. So let me go to 184. Boom, burglary. First degree burglary, 184202. A person commits first degree burglary if a person knowingly enters unlawfully and remains unlawfully after a lawful or unlawful entry in a building or occupied structure with the intent to commit thereon a crime other than trespass defined as article against another person if in effecting entry while the building or occupied structure or in immediate flight therefrom, the person or another participant in the crime assaults or menaces any person. So it's not just going in, it's actually assaulting or menacing, or the person or the other participant is armed with explosives.
that would be a fun one.
Yeah. Or the person or another participant uses deadly weapon or possesses threat. So burglary, it needs that shit right there.
Mm-hmm.
So either way.
So.
And if we continue on 181704, it continues to talk about a few other things, but it all has to do with using force against the person, not just they stole your shit.
So this gentleman, this Sheriff Grady Judd is his name, is convoluting a pretty important topic in his county, and he's doing it publicly,
Mhm.
and he feels like he's 100% justified, and that
Correct.
the reporter is wrong, and the reporter is doing his job, which is trying to clarify what he said and questioning the wisdom of repeating false information
Correct.
to the public. I found this on a certain forum, and most of the people on the forum were celebrating the sheriff for telling it like it is, for shooting straight.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. That shit was bonkers, dude. That shit was crazy.
It's amazing to me I am amazed on a regular basis that anything gets done at all ever correctly, with how prone we are as humans to making serious mistakes on a regular basis.
Shit's crazy.
So, I mean, it's a miracle that my car works. But I guess if you exert a market force on it, then there's a reason for it to work, right?
Correct.
If it doesn't work, it doesn't sell. So we've got to make sure it works. But
Yeah.
just knowing what I know about people and knowing how many people are involved in a process like building a car, it's astonishing that it works.
It's bonkers, dude.
So at my day job, we are wrapping up a project that took 4.5 or 5 years, and this project not only finished on budget but finished on time with high quality.
Yeah.
And there were hundreds of people involved, millions upon millions of dollars investment, and it all works. And I'm just like, wow, I can't believe this works. It's crazy. So, especially when you watch a video like that, and this guy's running the show in Polk County. He is in charge. He
is in charge, dude.
So, yeah. Let's see what else we got going on here.
We fuck, what the fuck I was thinking? I don't know. See if I remember here in a little bit.
Okay. I have a weird one. It's not funny, but it's definitely odd. In Denmark, hold on, let me see if I can open this. Copy link. I'm going to try to open this. It's a New York Times article, so I have to try to open it in a browser that doesn't store any cookies at all. So let me see.
Oh shit.
Because otherwise they hit you with that.
You're in Denmark?
Yeah.
So while you're doing that, I flew first class coming back.
Oh, how'd you hook that up?
It was just as expensive to do that than to check 2 bags.
Oh, yes.
Which is actually pretty cheap. It was an extra $100. And if you check 2 bags, it was, the total was going to be about the same. So it made sense to just fucking, because I had 2 fucking things. I had a fucking case full of ammo. I guess they only let you do 11 pounds per case, per item, if for firearms. So I had a case for the ammo because that shit was close to 11 pounds, 500 rounds of ammunition.
Dang, where'd you find 500 rounds of ammo?
Super secret stuff. And then
Did you drive a truck through a gun store, steal their ammo?
So I still had some ammo left over, which kind of fucking sucked because I didn't want to come back with more ammo. So now I'm stuck with 2 cases again. So I was like, fuck it, I'll fly first class. Weirdest fucking thing. This is the first time in my life when I was like seriously disgusted
with poor people.
Not with poor people. Because I've been on both sides. Because I paid an extra. It was close to $100, which in 2020 terms, it really isn't that much more money. And I was only doing it because it was virtually the same price as me checking in the 2 bags. Because when you do the first class, you get 2 bags for free.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, fuck it. It's the same price. I'm going to fucking do it. But I get to the airport and I see the Premier line and everybody was waiting before me, and I'm like, these motherfuckers are gonna have me go first. And I'm like, but like, all I did was pay like an extra $75. Like, it wasn't that much more money. And it was such a fucking weird, complex thing where it's just like, I've paid this much money before just for one seat. Like, I've paid close to $200 just for one seat in coach in Poor People Land. And now I'm paying like 3 times less than what I typically pay for a fucking flight. And I'm getting treated like fucking luxury. So the whole time I'm like, no, if they make me go first, I'm not going to do it. Like, that's not going to happen. And then I get to my seat, and they're fucking handing you towels, and they're fucking handing you extra.
What airline was this? Delta?
United.
United? Okay.
Yeah. So they're handing you extra fucking cookies, and everybody was like, oh, sorry, there's no, because of the flight. It was only from here to fucking Dallas. It's a 2-hour flight. So no snacks, no nothing. Here I am with fucking water. And how many snacks do you want? Like, that's fucked up. The fucking kids need snacks and shit like that. You ain't gonna give them snacks, motherfuckers. This is the only time in my life when I've been like, fuck, man, it sucks having an extra $100. This is fucked up. As I'm eating my fucking snacks, like, this is fucked up. I bet you people back there want snacks.
Yeah. There's a quote, and I always have a hard time remembering it. But one of my favorite comedians, Duncan Trussell, was on the Joe Rogan podcast.
Yeah.
This was several years ago, and Joe Rogan had taken him to Europe for a comedy tour, and Rogan's paying the bill, so they're flying first class. So not only is he flying first class, but he's flying first class international, and that's like a whole nother ball game.
Yeah.
And Duncan Trussell's a hippie, loves animals, loves every human. He's a bleeding heart liberal.
Yeah.
And he said, after flying first class Air France, I can understand nuking children. He said his mindset was so different. It was like, don't let any of those peasants come here and use this bathroom,
Yeah, and usually that's my mentality. It's like, you fucking peasants, I worked hard for this extra $75.
So you're that guy that, like, you flip everything on its head. So you finally get the level of treatment that you feel like you deserve, and you're like, this is too much. Those poor people back there. They're suffering.
Dude, because you know how much it sucks to be in those chairs. It's like, you're fucking
Oh yeah, dude.
yeah. and it sucks. And I reclined the chair, man. And it almost turned into a fucking bed.
So if you think about it, if they wanted to, they could load the plane from the rear, right?
Yeah.
So it's almost like it's on purpose. They make you walk through first class on your way
Correct.
to your coach
Correct.
seat.
Yeah.
Because I've been on planes that did load from the rear. They load from the middle. They load from the rear.
Yeah.
Like it's all seats. You can either get on the front of the plane, the middle, or the back of the plane.
Correct.
So why do they make you walk past first class?
It's crazy.
Just to let you know that you ain't
peasant.
nothing, dude.
You ain't a fucking thing.
Just a reminder before you get all uppity about how quickly I bring your coffee. I want you to remember you are not sitting here.
Dude, they took an order. Like, I've never had anybody fucking like get an
I
order.
did not know what a hot towel was until I rode first class.
Dude, that shit was insane. Like, before the
they-
plane even took off, like, hey, what are you gonna want when we're up in the air? Like, what the fuck? Like, let me gather my thoughts here, lady. Like, I don't know what the fuck I want. Like,
So they handed me a hot towel, and I didn't know what it was, and I didn't know what it was for. I literally opened it up. I thought there was going to be something inside of there.
you held it.
I was like, "Is this a tortilla? What is this? Do I eat this?"
That shit was crazy.
And I'm not even joking. I honestly thought there was something to eat inside that towel.
Shit was fucking bonkers.
Yeah.
The whole time I was just like, what the fuck? Like, this is nice for an extra, again, less than $100 or $100, whatever.
Yeah. So actually, Josh flies first class when he flies back and forth from Atlanta to Colorado Springs for the same reason. because it costs about $100 more for first class, and he gets to check his bags. So,
Correct. And usually I don't fly with bags. I just do a
Mhm.
carry on.
Yeah.
So like for me, usually it doesn't make sense. But if I had 2 bags and shit like that, 100%, it makes sense. Because this poor lady, not only was she poor, so she had to sit and fucking in coach with the peasants. But she checked 3 bags, and it cost her like almost $400, dude.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh.
And then one of them, she had to get out 3 pounds because the dude was being a fucking super dick. He's like, well, you're 3 pounds over, and if you don't take it off, I'm going to charge you an extra $200 for that bag. Like, God damn.
I'm sure that $200 goes right to the baggage handlers.
Well, dude, it should. It doesn't, but I mean, it fucking should because they get paid the same no matter what.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They're just collecting money on you.
And
Hey,
this dude,
but
he's not going to pay out of his pocket. Like, what the fuck? It's just 3 pounds, dude. Fucking
yeah.
yeah, this shit was crazy, dude.
So that reminds me, when we flew home from the Dominican Republic, we get off the plane, or we get off the shuttle, and this guy runs up, and you know how it is in foreign countries. I think you've experienced this in foreign countries. Somebody runs up to you and wants to help you, and you have no idea if they actually work for the place or not. You know. Because I've been in both scenarios. I've been places where I thought this person was trying to scam me, and no, they actually work there, you know, and I've been tricked by people as well. So this guy runs up,
Yeah.
meets us as we're coming off the shuttle, grabs our bags, and starts telling us, you know, follow me. And he's wearing a shirt that looks like he works at the airport, and he's wearing a name tag. And I'm like, okay, maybe he works for the airport. And he walks us to the front of the line. Literally skipped the entire check-in line and walks us right up to the counter, and we start checking in, and then I realized this guy doesn't even work here.
What?
Yeah. And I tipped him like $20 because I'm like, otherwise we would have had to wait in line for 30 minutes.
Yeah.
You know? And I'm looking around, I'm like, how the hell did we end up in the front of the line, you know? He just walked around the entire line and took us right up to the counter.
And nobody said anything?
Nobody said anything.
Because he had the vest on.
Because, yeah.
Or
and
the
I was-
name tag.
the name tag. But I'm looking around at the other guys that are dressed similar to him. I'm like, yeah, this is definitely some kind of a scam.
Yeah.
But somehow he saw me come off the bus, and he's like, this guy's going to tip me. And
That's the fucking sucker right there.
And of course, I could be, you know, if I was cheap, I would consider myself a sucker in that moment because, you know, he tricked me.
Yeah.
But I got $20 worth of service, so I had no problem giving him $20.
Correct.
You know, but yeah. So I'm standing there checking in. And I'm looking back at all these other people, these suckers, you know, and I was like, "That's right, man. I must have it written across my face."
Oh, I feel like an asshole, dude.
Yeah.
I probably would have felt like a fucking asshole, like going up to the front and then just like everybody else, like, you fucking.
And the reason I remember this is because there was a woman in the line next to us who was having to empty her bags to get weight out of her bag.
Jeez. With fucking 5 kids and she's struggling, and you're like, here you go, $20.
I'm gonna miss my flight. Yeah. So yeah, Richard said Edgar sits down and the flight attendant hands him an award. That would have been even better. That would have been perfect.
Amazing.
All right, so this is an article about a TV show on Dutch television,
Okay.
and the audience of this TV show is 11 to 13-year-olds, boys and girls, and the format of the show is that all these kids are sitting in this television studio, and then these 5 naked people will come walking out and stand on stage, and the kids in the audience get to ask any question they want.
Hmm.
Which, in the age of, I mean, some of the stories that we've gone over in the last couple of months about all this normalizing of chomophilia,
Yeah.
and everything. This like set off alarm bells right off the bat. I was just like, what the hell is going on here? You know? And I'm reading through this, and I mean, it's like, it's weird. And in the New York Times article, you know, they're showing kind of pictures of the participants in this, but you know, they're not really showing anything. And I'm like, what the hell is going on here, you know? And then I read a little further, and because there's people who disagree with this, people who say this is a terrible idea and this is child abuse, and you know, but it gets a little further into the article, and it says, let's see, I'm trying to get to a children's programming featuring naked adults might be taking the Danish approach to the extreme, but the Danish way of dealing with easing children's anxieties over body issues is to expose them to naked bodies. And then it goes on to say, let's see here. If the child becomes no, not that. I'm trying to get to the punchline here. Okay. Basically, it goes on to talk about, I can't find the exact section, but in Holland, the society has kind of taken it upon themselves to force their kids into constantly challenging and uncomfortable situations.
Yeah.
You know, not cutting their food up for them, as a very small example, and you know, just basically treating them as like, you have to grow up at some point, so you know, you're going to get exposed to all the things that, you know, are difficult and make it hard for you. And that kind of changed my opinion about this. I'm still really kind of weirded out by the whole idea of this.
Correct.
But, and who volunteers for this?
Yeah, that's crazy, dude.
I'll tell you one person who volunteers, a midget. Let me see if I can get this copy image address. And you're not going to like this picture, but I'm going to send it to you anyway.
Shit.
I'll put it in the chat as well. Hopefully,
Shit.
hopefully it doesn't weird people out. I wonder if this even works. I think it will. Yeah.
Let me see. Let me see.
Yep, it worked.
Oh, isn't that bad? But
no, it's just funny.
fucking midget.
Just standing there like he's in first class, dude.
That shit's hilarious.
Yeah, so I mean, you haven't read the article, but you know, what's your impression of that approach?
I don't know, dude. I think I couldn't do it. So
could you send your kid to something like that?
No, absolutely not. And that's what I mean. Like I just couldn't do that stuff, because I think there comes a point where there's certain things, just like I can tell my kids, hey, cocaine is bad, and then not have to like, oh, you got to sniff the fucking line. Like, you just try it, see how bad it is.
Smoke this whole carton of cigarettes.
Correct.
You'll know how bad cigarettes are.
Correct. So I think there's other ways to do it. Your favorite people, Will Smith and Jada Pinkett, had a very unorthodox way of raising their kids. And even then, did
they get in trouble for this recently? Because I feel like something happened that I completely missed.
No, I don't. No, they didn't. I didn't hear anything about it. But they were talking about it. And so you see their kids, and especially Jaden, where there was a certain point in time where he was just batshit crazy, and he was doing a lot of batshit crazy things. And then they're talking about it now, and Will was talking about it, and the way they decided to raise their kids, and although it's very intriguing, I don't even think I could do this, was at a certain age, they just let them do almost whatever the fuck they wanted to do to get them used to just fucking up, like, and accepting the consequences of the real world for that fuck up.
Okay, so for normal people who don't fly first class all the time,
Yeah,
that's a real challenge.
yeah,
But if you're Will Smith and you have total fuck you money, that's a little, I mean, it's a little easier to swallow.
Well, no, I mean, it's not like talking about murder and shit like that.
No, but I mean, in my own personal experience in the last couple of weeks, I sure wish I had a really good attorney on retainer ready to jump in if I needed him.
Correct. Yeah. I think last time that Smith talked about this, I think he yearly spends $250,000 on legal fees.
Oh yeah, we did talk about that.
Yeah. So, but he, they were talking about that, and it like piqued my interest because I mean that's a pretty unusual way of raising kids. Basically, you're like, hey, you're gonna fuck up, but then you look at your kids, and I'm sure there was a lot of times where we're like, what the fuck is this dumbass doing? And Jaden Smith apparently moved out of his house when he was 15, and
Again, probably had money.
oh well, yeah, I'm sure he had already had fucking number one. He's been on TV and movies and
Karate Kid, and I mean shitty movies, but he's been in movies. So he, yeah, take that back.
Do you like the remake?
I just love Jackie Chan.
Oh, okay.
I could watch a video of him eating spaghetti, and I would enjoy it.
I enjoy his interviews every time he does an interview. But yeah, it was just a pretty interesting way of raising a kid. I don't know if I would do that shit because I'd want to fucking roundhouse a motherfucker. But
so I wonder how far that extends, because thinking back on it, even though sometimes I felt pretty restricted, and in some ways I was pretty restricted in some very specific ways, in a lot of ways I was pretty much free to do whatever I wanted.
Yeah.
Now, if I did something I shouldn't have done and I got caught, I would get grounded. There would be a bad outcome, for what I did. But I did some stuff that, I mean, if I, as a parent, caught my kid doing now, I don't know what I would do.
yeah,
And my parents were pretty much, okay, you're grounded for a week. But actually, at the time, getting grounded sucked for me. I hated getting grounded
correct.
because I was always out. I was always out of the house doing something. And so to be stuck in the house was a real punishment. With my kids, I feel like
The opposite.
yeah, they'd be like, okay, great. I don't have to go anywhere, And so, but I had an enormous amount of freedom. I was starting at about age 12.
Mhm.
I didn't really have to tell my parents where I was most of the time. I just had to be home by a certain amount of time,
Correct.
a certain time. And I had responsibilities. I played sports, so I had to be, at practice. I had to be at my games. I had to be at those events. I was working roughly at age 13. I was working pretty regularly, so I had commitments there, and so I had things to do, but I didn't have any problem doing those things.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to do them. I wanted to get paid. I wanted to be on those teams. I wanted to play, so I feel like I had a lot of that freedom, and I think it made a big difference for me. I feel like I had a lot of good experiences that taught me some really important lessons.
Yeah.
But it takes guts as a parent to just let your kid disappear, especially when you know how easily they can get themselves into trouble. My middle kid was gone all day yesterday, and I was just like, okay, how much money do I have in the bank? How am I going to deal with the phone call? What's going to happen? And it made me nervous. And the longer he was gone, the more nervous I got,
Yeah.
So.
And this is how old is he now?
13.
13-year-old black kid
Mm-hmm.
roaming the streets
Yeah.
in America.
Yeah.
Yeah, buddy.
So.
I'd have been like, what the fuck?
Like, did you turn your ankle bracelet off? So, I mean, I knew this was going to happen though, because I've been basically forcing him to get out of the house and, you know, go make some friends and go do things. And I told you off the air last week what happened when I did that. And it's just like, of course that happened, you know?
Dude.
I feel like getting in trouble for starting a fire is a lot different than being accused of some very adult things.
Yeah.
So,
just a smidge.
but it's, you know, I'm looking at this this article, and I think people should go read this if you get a chance. I did put it in the show notes. The justification for doing this, at least culturally speaking, doesn't make zero sense. That's kind of a hard thing to say. Like, there's actual some logic to it.
Yeah.
You know? And if I mean, we're talking about a place that has nude beaches, so you know the family goes out to the nude beach all the time.
Yeah.
So it's not really that unusual in their culture to see that. You know, maybe to center a TV show around it is a little weird. You know, and to like
dude, yeah,
solicit models to come participate, that might be a little weird.
Corey, you're gonna have to rewind this shit a little bit to understand what the fuck that's all about. It's pretty weird.
Oh, did he find the link?
Yeah. He's like, what the fuck is like? What's up with this? What's up with this?
And the funny thing is this is Facebook, so of course they're gonna censor it. Except it's a New York Times article, so they're kind of caught between.
Yeah.
So allegiance to the New York Times and.
I'm not on Facebook. Is Facebook showing it as?
It's showing it with a preview.
Oh yeah.
I did not know that was going to happen.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So it was interesting because at first I was just like, I knew it. These freaking pedophiles, you know.
That's just hilarious.
And then after a while, I was like,
yeah,
this is interesting.
Yeah.
So there was something else I wanted to talk about.
Yes.
No. Well, let's play this video. This video that I sent you doesn't really have much usable audio, so we don't have to play the audio over. We can just play the video on the stream, and we can talk about it while it's playing.
Okie dokie.
There we go. So in this video, if you're not watching the stream, there is a 12-year-old girl taking apart looks like a Taurus 357 Magnum in the back of a van. I think she's in the Philippines, or maybe she's in Thailand. Okay.
Thailand.
So she's a gunsmith. She's working out of a van, which is called the Gun Spa, by the way. They'll show that picture in a little bit. The English definition, or the English translation of that poster you just saw, is the Gun Spa.
Gun Spa.
So she's giving this revolver a bath. Looks like an oil bath.
And she's doing it wrong, but whatever.
Yeah, well, you know, it's Thailand. I don't know what that's supposed to mean. But this guy has basically trained his daughter how to be a gunsmith, and you're going to see a shot of this van in a second. It's just in a parking lot. They have a rolling gun lab in a van in a parking lot in the middle of Taiwan or Thailand.
Yeah, no, it can't be done. I mean, that could only be done in the U.S. where you're in the freezing on Earth.
They're just in a parking lot.
Yeah, no, it can't be done in Thailand. No other country would allow this except the U.S.
She's playing with looks like a Beretta 92. Yeah, so very interesting. And they've got a whole bunch of tools in this van, better tools than I have.
This is bonkers, dude. So even in talking with the homie from Mexico, he was talking about the laws concerning rifles and SBRs. He's like, SBRs are actually cool here in Mexico. As long as they're not in 5.56, they can only be chambered in 2.23, but you can have a 2.23 AR SBR.
Whoa. What?
Yeah, he's like, you can have it. That's not a big fucking deal.
No, but why the distinction between 2.23 and 5.56?
Well, it's retarded because 5.56 is used by the military. You can't use the same rounds that the military has.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, but if you have a 223 barreled SBR, no extra restrictions, no any of that shit. So it's very interesting to hear the laws, and here you go. That shit would be highly illegal here in the U.S. because you have to have an FFL to provide those type of services. In order to have the
Now-
FFL, you have to have a brick and mortar.
But I wonder though, like the feasibility of running a mobile gunsmithing lab if you had an FFL, right? Could you do a mobile gunsmithing lab?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Because you don't in order to do gunsmithing stuff, you don't need to do background checks for that stuff. It's just log it
Okay.
in as long as it's the same person that picks it up. As long as the same person drops off, picks up, then no background checks.
How quickly could you mill a slide for if you had the right machinery, mill a slide and then finish it for a red dot?
I couldn't answer that. I'm assuming you could do that in a couple hours with the right tooling.
With the right tooling, could you fit that tooling into a van or a truck?
Probably not.
That would be a CNC machine, right, with a computer and.
You know, if you knew programming, you could probably get one of these the ghost gunners,
Mm-hmm.
and then have the ghost gunner do it.
I'm just thinking, like, if you just rolled up at a gun range.
You figured that, yeah, the ghost gunner is what, the fucking size of a printer? I mean, maybe a little bit taller. And you're
Does the
making
ghost gunner make 3D printings of steel and alloys and stuff?
they're the ones that finish the 80%.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So you just drop it in there, hit the fucking button, and it completes your 80%.
But that's well, I guess it wouldn't necessarily matter. That's aluminum, not steel. But I'm sure it could.
Oh,
still
if you get the
work.
right bits, if you
Yeah.
get, yeah, oh, absolutely.
A Bridgeport mill, heavy as yeah. Wait, Richard's got a ghost gunner?
Yeah, Richard's got a ghost gunner.
Shoot, there you go, dude. Mobile gun lab. Yeah. So anyway, I'm just thinking about that as an idea. Like if you pull up to a gun range on a Saturday and say, "I'll mill your slide for $200," while you wait.
Yeah, dude.
I wonder how that would work.
Probably wouldn't, because you'd get so backed up.
Yeah.
Because you could only do what, maybe 3, and then that's it.
Yeah, but if you're charging $200 a pop
Oh yeah.
and it takes you 2 hours, there you go. $600 in one day. Not
Yeah.
a bad, of course that's not going to pay for your materials.
No, it's not a bad idea. It's pretty genius. But again, another one of those examples where it's illegal in the good old freedom
Mhm.
country, but you look at Thailand.
So I was helping out I was talking about this. I helped out a Christian men's retreat a few weekends ago, and they have been working on getting this gun range approved for 5 years.
It's crazy, dude.
5 years they've been spending fighting in federal court, because part of the gun range backs up to national forest land.
Which,
And-
ironically, if they cross over, they could fucking pew pew.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, just walk off the reservation and go ahead and shoot wherever you want. And the Teller County has been one of the major problems here in this process. And so the
Teller County.
Teller County.
Let me see.
So Teller County told them that one of the rules they had to abide by was no rifles over 30 cal.
Is this Teller County Sheriffs or Teller?
No, Teller County. What do you call it? County Commission.
Commissioners?
Yeah, commissioners. So you can't have a rifle over 30 caliber. So you can shoot a 300 Win Mag on this shooting range, but you cannot shoot a 9mm carbine.
What?
Yeah. You could shoot a 300 Win Mag on this range, but not a 9mm carbine. You could shoot a 9mm handgun, but not a 9mm rifle.
So crazy. It's like in Mexico they have the Glock 25s, which is a 380-19 Glock 19. But in the US they're illegal.
Why?
I don't know.
Why? That man.
So if you have a Glock 19 and 380, it's illegal.
Yeah, and I've been doing some research, very light research on having an SOT, and the enforcement of the SOT rules appears to be very light. And the difference between having an SOT is not and not having an SOT is basically being able to build whatever you want as far as full auto machine guns.
Correct.
And we're talking about, you know, an extremely, according to them, dangerous weapon. And it's like, no, you just, you know, file an extra $500 on top of your paperwork and yeah, do whatever you want. It's cool.
So it seems like most of Teller County is Republican.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. Yeah.
So I'm looking it up right now, and it
But
looks
it's also a corrupt county. And that's documented. I mean,
no.
yeah. I know it's hard to believe. But
No.
yes, the Democrats are not the only corrupt party.
What? No.
Speaking of corruption and speaking of Republicans, I want to play another clip. I've been watching All the President's Men, which is a 1970s production about Bob Woodward and what's the other guy? Bernstein. What's his first name? I can't remember. The two Washington Post reporters who uncovered the Watergate details and scandal and everything. So it's a really good movie for a few reasons. And one of the reasons is they use a lot of clips from like real news clips during the movie to kind of give context to what's happening in the moment. So here's a clip of the Attorney General at the time, and you know, Attorney General, highest law enforcement person in the land. You know, his whole job is to uphold the law and prosecute the law, and you know, not allow anybody to become corrupt, et cetera, et cetera. His name is Richard Kleindienst. Man, that's a hard name to say. Richard Kleindienst. I don't know if anybody knows how to pronounce that. So this is a clip of him giving an interview after the initial Watergate investigation happened. And yeah, let's see here. Play.
Very recently been reported now that some documents were torn up at the committee to re-elect the president. Are you investigating the tearing up of those documents?
Well, I think that came out in a story in the Washington Post.
Yes.
I think the investigation that has just concluded itself has probably been one of the most intensive that the Department of Justice and the FBI has ever been involved in. Some 1,500 persons were interviewed, 1,800 leads were followed.
Ooh, very impressive.
333 agents were involved, 14,000 man-hours.
Wow.
51 of the 59 FBI field officers were involved. And that, I think, is a
solid
great
police work
credit to justice in this country.
Did you know
and
the
the
documents
ability.
had been destroyed?
No, I did not.
That was a real clip. That was not for the movie. That was a real clip.
And
Did you know the documents have been destroyed? He just got done talking about 14,000 man-hours in this investigation, and she asked him if he knew documents had been destroyed, and he had an answer ready. Nope.
nope.
Mm-mm.
Sure
I didn't know that.
So I'm gonna back it up just a little bit because I got curious about the Glock 25.
Okay. Yeah.
The Gun Control Act of 1968, which sets new criteria for the importation of guns. The then newly created Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms created a point system to determine whether a handgun could be imported into the United States. The points are awarded based on criteria that include the length, height, weight, construction, safety features, sight, grips, and caliber, which ironically, the 25 is the exact same as the 19, just different caliber.
So it loses a point or gains a point there.
The Glock 25 fell short in the point system. It was actually created for the South American, with blah, 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 where it gets slightly more confusing is that while the Glock 25 was banned for civilian sales, it was still legal to import for law enforcement and military sales. So it is possible to legally purchase a used Glock 25 or possibly Glock 28 that was bought by a law enforcement agency that has since been sold off. but that's a stretch and probably not worth the bother when Glock. Well, the Glock 26 is not the same as a Glock 19, but whatever. I hate it when they say that. Oh, Glock 26 is exact same shit. Like, no, it's not.
That is so weird. That's such a mundane reason for that gun. I bet you I'm going to go on Gunbroker right now and look up a Glock 25 and see how much they cost.
Oh, you think they have them?
Oh, somebody's got to be selling one.
Do you think so?
Yeah. Let's see here. Glock
I'd
25.
be interested to have a Glock 19 in 380.
No, it wouldn't.
It'd be fucking interesting. Super interesting.
It would be stupid.
It'd be amazing.
Why won't you rep? Okay, if I have one complaint about freaking Apple, one serious complaint is this freaking spell check override.
So I don't know this answer. Do you know the answer, dude? How long is it taking for silencers? Or is that a Form 4?
It's all over the place. I've heard as little as a few weeks and as many as 9 months. And normally I would say currently the wait is this amount of time, but I've heard for several people it's been very unpredictable.
Yeah.
So no Glock 25s on Gunbroker. Huh.
No Glock 25s.
Let me do this with quotation marks. Maybe that will help. Glock 25. Nope. No Glock 25s.
Well, the site told you that it was very unlikely.
Huh. That's weird. So, Glock 25 for sale. How about that? We'll just do a Google search.
Yeah, I just did that, and there's nothing.
Oh, wait a minute. 365plus.com.
Do they have one?
Here we go. Well, it's listed on here, but it doesn't have a price. Oh, no. This is in Europe. Never mind.
624 and 95 euros.
Communist dollars. Yeah.
Communist dollars. Fucking commies.
Why? This is funny. This article is called Banned Guns, Why You Can't Buy the Glock 18 or Glock 25. Like, those are even the same gun, dude.
Correct. That's
the reason you can't buy a Glock 18 is because it doesn't have enough points.
It doesn't have enough points. The other one that's weird is the Glock 28.
I have no idea what this is either.
Yeah, so the Glock 28.
Also, the Glock 8, Glock Model 8.
Right? Oh,
right?
the Glock Model 8. Yes, that one, just because of the material.
Right.
It's super secretive.
Goes through metal detectors.
Wait, I thought it was Glock 7.
Oh, 7. Yeah, sorry. No,
Glock 7?
8 was the one that was made out of glass.
Oh, 7 is a ceramic one, right?
Yeah. Glock
So
7.
pistol prerequisite, the pistol must have a positive manually operated safety device. The combined length, height, and this is from the ATF, must not be less than 10 inches with the height. Right angle measurement to the barrel without magazine and section being at least 4 inches and the length being at least 6 inches. That gets complicated as shit.
Yeah, I have the same formula when I measure other things.
Yeah, buddy. So, anyways.
A punk pulled a Glock 7 on me. You know what that is? It's a porcelain gun made in Germany. Doesn't show up on your airport x-ray machines here, and it costs more than you make in a month.
You'd be surprised what I make in a month.
It's porcelain. I thought it was ceramic. It's porcelain.
I thought it was ceramic too. Porcelain.
Freaking porcelain gun. Oh man.
How practical do you think that would be?
This is why I'm hearing different things, because Richard says up to 9 months on a Form 4 and up to 5 weeks on a Form 1. That must be why I'm hearing such different things. Okay. Yeah. March to September. Okay.
I've never done the stamp thing because I'm not
a slave.
I'm not a slave to the system, but clearly everybody here loves to be.
Now, hypothetically, if there was a way to acquire a silencer, like a legit one, not like some cheap fuel filter, if there was a way to acquire a silencer that happened outside of the NFA process, would you do it? Hypothetically,
I do it for fun. I don't know if I would do it for practical reasons.
Yeah,
but I definitely do it for fun because they're fun as fuck, man.
Yeah.
The ones that you have and the ones that I've shot, I mean, it's pretty fun to be able to take off your ear pro and not have to have those on. Like the experience is pretty fun as fuck.
Yeah.
And then there's I've been wanting a 300 blackout for no fucking reason other than just being retarded. And I mean, you know this, unless it's suppressed, it's pretty much fucking
It's
pointless.
Overly expensive 30 caliber round.
Correct. So yeah, I would have one, but no real practical reasons.
So I do keep a suppressor on my home defense gun. I'm not sure it's necessary. Well, I know it's not necessary,
Yeah.
but I do see that as serving a purpose. I don't think though that it would be enough of a reason. I wouldn't feel like I needed one
Correct.
in order to, I wouldn't feel a compulsion to violate the law just to get a suppressor.
Correct. It's not worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, for handguns, I've shot. I don't make it a point, but I've shot handguns without hearing protection. I've done it a few times on purpose, and then other times on accident, just getting a little hasty, and then fucking holy shit! That quick little.
You don't pull the trigger quickly, but you do pull it fast. I don't know how to say that.
Yeah. Prematurely.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so I've done it, and I don't in a good guy bad guy situation inside the house, I don't think it's loud enough to really cause any real permanent damage. I think the chances would be way too low, and then to justify the price of the suppressor on top of telling the government that you can come into my house whenever the fuck you please, and then paying them $250 to allow them to come into my house whenever the fuck they pleased. And then on top of that, you're adding how many inches to the barrel?
Mm-hmm.
So at that point, if I'm going to make it that long, then I mean, fucking PCC and call it good. And that defeats the purpose because it takes away from its practicality.
Right, exactly. I'm sending you a link in the chat that you need to queue up and play. Apparently, you don't need a suppressor at all. A 300 Win Mag in the house is no big deal.
I'm super interested. Shit.
Just for context, this is Demolition
Ranch.
Oh,
Demolition Ranch.
And he built a bullet trap and decided to test it out in his living room. And
this one will need audio, I'm sure.
Yeah, you're gonna want audio for this.
Let me go with.
I saw this video today. It cracked me up, so I had to share it.
The carpet, yeah. So far, so good. Bigger?
Oh yeah.
This is my biggest AR-15. Normal AR-15s are chambered in 5.56, which you are not focused on. 5.56. This AR-15, made by Falcor, is chambered in 300 Winchester Magnum. That is a large difference. This gun has way more.
Oh, put it. I don't think it's on the stream.
Oh shit!
This is a big-time sniper rifle. I don't think they're made to be fired in a house.
I don't think.
He is literally in his living room right now. His target looks like it's about 5 yards away.
Oh man! Hide overboard! Hide overboard!
This is scary.
Oh! Whoa! Dude!
I love this dude.
I'm sure his wife thinks differently.
His smoke alarm's going.
It's amazing. Oh man.
Yeah, so he goes back to survey. He wanted to shoot his 50 cal in his house, but after shooting the 300 Win Mag, there was so much spalling that came off of that. He actually found a piece of lead embedded in his couch. He decided to call it quits. So
great.
So yeah, you don't really need a suppressor for home defense, you know? You could totally shoot. I wonder what that sounded like outside the house, man.
Oh, dude, it must have been fucking incredible, dude.
Can you triple up your hearing protection? Is that possible?
Triple up?
I know you can double up your hearing protection, but I don't know if you can get another layer in there as well.
I don't know, dude. It'd be tough.
So I did some. I'm learning a new skill.
Which is
welding.
Oh yeah. You were doing that last time.
So I have now worked forward towards. I don't know if the windows would survive a 50 cal. That's a good point.
Probably not.
Any furniture nearby also probably would take a beating just from the muzzle blast.
Dude, can you imagine how that would feel for you?
Oh man, yes. I can, and I love it. So
like your insides would be warm and fuzzy, dude. It's
Yeah.
probably be bleeding, like internal bleeding.
Well, I mean that's essentially most of the damage of an explosive.
Is internal bleeding?
Internal damage.
Yeah.
So there may have been some serious health concerns firing a 50 cal in a room like that, especially prone that close to the floor. So I found out that the welder that I bought, the Harbor Freight Chinese Special, sucks.
No.
Yeah, can you believe that?
How does it suck?
It first of all, it's AC instead of DC.
Yeah, that'll do it.
I didn't know that there was a difference, and I didn't know why it was important. But apparently, with an AC current, you get inconsistent electricity flow through the flux wire. It has not only is it AC instead of DC, but apparently the grounding cable is the positive terminal, and the gun is the negative terminal. It should be the other way around. So you get better. I guess you get a better current if it's flipped around.
Okay.
However, for about $40 in parts, you can convert it to DC.
Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah, and you can actually turn the whole thing into a pretty quality welder, considering how much you're spending on it.
Correct.
Dave, don't tell me what I need. I'm not buying a MIG machine, a 240 volt welder. I don't have anywhere to plug that in. It's I'm not explaining it right. AC has no positive and negative. I'm not explaining it right, but basically, you need to flip the polarity of the of the torch and the of the clamp. So you need to put in a bridge. What is it called? I can't remember what it's called.
But for $40, that's not bad.
No, and plus you get to learn, a little bit about electricity as you electrocute yourself trying to switch it from AC to DC.
I
unplug the dryer. I have to unplug everything in my house to get that to work. 240 volt. What is that? Is that a 40 amp machine? The 240 volt welder?
Nah, you
50 amp?
20.
Maybe.
Bridge
rectifier. That's right. Bridge rectifier.
I have a lot of Harbor Freight tools, and in general, they fucking good shit. I mean, it's not.
I think in general, you get more than what you pay for.
Correct. I think if you go in there and you're a snob, and you're used to Snap-on and shit like that, and if you use Snap-on and Mac tools and fucking $1,000 and you're in debt to pay off your fucking toolbox, then yeah, you're not gonna like this shit. But if you're like you and me who are like fixing cars, and if I break a $2 fucking wrench, not a big fucking deal, I just go buy another one. Like I've never had a major issue with any of their fucking tools, none whatsoever, or even power tools. A lot of the tools that we've used to make holsters with have been Harbor Freight shit.
So there is like, I do have a line. I bought a Craftsman set of socket set, and I was like, finally gonna buy a Craftsman socket set. Yeah. Craftsman's got a good reputation and it's affordable and made in America. Well, nope, they're not. They're made in China now. And I actually broke my ratchet wrench, and I got pissed about it. So I want to buy some more expensive ratchet wrenches, and I'm willing to pay more for those because I use them more than anything else. Right. And I put my ratchets under an extreme amount of stress sometimes. I'm banging on them. I've got breaker bars on them. and if that thing breaks, it's a major pain in the butt. But all my screwdrivers are cheap screwdrivers. My crescent wrenches are cheap crescent wrenches.
Right.
Basically, if it can handle most things, it's good enough. I bought an angle grinder at Harbor Freight for $10. I don't care if you only use it once.
Correct.
That's worth the $10.
$10. Yep.
I had a drill that I bought there, a corded drill, and I use it to mix mortar for tiling.
Yeah.
And I mean that thing is almost on fire when I'm mixing with it. The smoke coming out of that thing is like instant toxicity. But the thing is, it's like it's an $8 drill. So if I burn it out, big deal. I'll just go get another one, So yeah, there's definitely a lot of tools there that I have no problem spending $20 on.
Correct.
But I
bought even those jacks. I mean, they had a recall on those jacks. The ones that Dave's talking about.
Mm-hmm.
I hate her. But I mean, every tool company has had.
Also, dude, if you're going to be putting your car on jacks, you should be getting jacks that are twice the rated weight of your car anyway. Yeah. Like, you don't play around with that. If you're going to get underneath your car, you need to be sure. It's like, oh, the car weighs 3,800 pounds. I'll get jacks that are rated to 4,000 pounds. No. Get the 8,000-pound jacks. That way, even if they're recalled, who cares? They'll be fine.
They'll be fine.
They should be, right?
Yeah. Or leave the jack on there underneath as well.
Stanley ratchet sets are good. I hear this from people. Stanley, Husky. What's the other crappy brand that Lowe's sells? I want something that I can whack with a 2.5-pound hammer.
Oh, you want $1,000 ratchet?
I don't want $1,000 ratchet, but I want something that's not
going
to
$500 ratchet.
Dude, even I'm not getting a Snap-on one, but those things are $180 for a 3/8-inch ratchet.
And you're gonna buy it?
No.
Happily.
No. I'll get the $150 one. Just don't depend on anything for Harbor Freight for safety. What do you mean, like a ball hitch?
Ball hitch.
Have that thing snap off on you. That reminds me of a story. My dad used to have a 1978 Chevy Nova, I believe, and he sold it to a friend of ours who used it to move, and he rented a trailer from U-Haul, and they were driving down the freeway, and it came unhooked from the ball joint, and he sees the trailer coming up next to him on his left side, and it runs, it swerves, and it runs into the side of the Nova, and then of course it slows down and then whips around and comes around the passenger side and slams into the other side of the car, and then they finally got it stopped. So this car had matching dents on both sides. This trailer had bashed into it.
Oh, that would have been incredible to see on film, to fucking have it just fucking swerve and pat and then fucking brake essentially and then swerve onto the other side.
Yeah. So Dave says use a breaker bar for batching, not a ratchet. That's not how I use my tools. I'm hard on my stuff. I'm hard on all of my stuff. I'm hard on my guns. I'm hard on my tools. I'm hard on my cars. It's just my personality. Like,
yeah, you don't give a fuck. There's been times where you drop guns and I was like, what the fuck? Like, not drop, but I've seen you like put them on the
like
fucking
drop
ground. Yeah, and you're just like, what the fuck is this guy doing? And the next scene is you fucking having to mortar the fucking same gun. I don't know what's wrong with this thing.
It must be dirty.
Like, no, fucker, you just fucking grabbed it and
yeah. So, and the other thing too, recommending Husky and Stanley, I really do want to buy an American tool. Just on
Stanley, not American?
I don't think that Stanley's made in America anymore.
No?
Pretty sure they're not. I could be wrong about
What
that.
about the blue
Joel will know. Father owns Stanley. Oh, is that you? You own Stanley tools?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm partial to them, but I'm.
Yeah. So, I mean, I have some Stanley tools, but I definitely want American. Yeah, Stanley is Chinese made. I'm not. If I have a choice, I'm not going to buy Chinese.
What are your facts? Who says it's Chinese made, and where are you gathering that information?
Where are your sources?
Sources.
Name them. So yeah, if I have a choice, I'm not buying Chinese anymore. So I gotta
You super hate Chinese people.
Yes, I do. Well,
You
it's
are.
the same problem we have here in America. We want to blame the politicians for our problems. It's our fault. It's our fault we haven't held them accountable. It's our fault that the debate went the way it went. It's
Yeah.
our fault that our country is circling the drain right now. It's our fault for not standing up and doing something about it. And it's the same for the Chinese. How many people they have? 1 billion? You don't think if they all got together and decided they didn't want to be under the oppressive thumb of the Communist Party that they couldn't just end it?
Yeah.
Of course they could. So I blame all the Chinese people, every last one of them.
Let me see. Stanley Tools, because nobody's giving me a fucking source.
Stanley owns Mac Tools, but that doesn't mean they're not made here. I think Mac Tools are still made in America. German Tools, I'll buy German tools. I'll buy Canadian tools, but not buying Chinese tools anymore. If I can afford it. I mean, after I just bought a Chinese welder. But I don't have money for a Lincoln. You know, I'm not going to go out and buy a Miller machine, even though my dad could get a wicked discount on them, and he won't.
Wicked.
He won't try it.
You want to try it?
I told him, I was like, man, when you separate, you should get them to give you a freaking welding machine. Oh, I can't do that. Yes, you can. They would love to give you one. They'd all sign it for you.
So it looks like they're still made here.
Stanley?
Yeah.
I don't believe it.
Yep.
Just based on the price, there's no way they're still made here.
Manufacturing, formerly business.
Yeah, so Corey said that Harbor Freight is upping their game for pros. I have kind of had my eye on their new professional tools, but again, they're made in China. I don't know where Makita's made. I buy pretty much Makita now because, you know, once you get hooked into one battery system, you're kind of stuck with it. So,
yeah. So Stanley Black & Decker announces opening of new Craftsman plant in Fort Worth, Texas.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right then.
So
Hand
they
tools.
made it-
Stanley
hand
it
tools.
is for hand tools. Makita's made in Georgia. So there you go.
So I didn't know that Stanley owned Black & Decker too, though.
You can't own Black.
Only Decker.
Just like you can't have a master server and a slave server anymore.
Can't do that.
Or a master cylinder and a slave cylinder.
You can have that. Oh, proud moment. Speaking of that shit, Luke, remember when he needed a mechanic?
Yes.
I was like, no, fucker, just bleed that motherfucker.
Oh, he took care of it himself?
And yeah, I told him to fucking bleed that system. And he did it like 20 days later. He's like, hey, dude, I just bled it out and it works.
What was he bleeding out?
The clutch system.
Oh, okay. Oh, he had air in his lines or something?
Probably, or dirt. That was pretty dirty.
So I think you remember this, but yeah, no master bedrooms. That's right.
Yeah, so here we go. Boom. Stanley Black & Decker wants to revitalize Craftsman by bringing production, and Craftsman is being made here in the U.S.
Look at that.
Bringing
Okay.
production back to the U.S.
Okay.
Restoring the tool brand high quality reputation is essential, CEO says. Like the middle American class in 1980s, blah, 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 and it keeps on going.
Boom, there you go. Clear conscience now. So I think you remember me telling you this, but I had a brake line problem in my 4Runner when I first bought it. Do it yourself, they said. It'll be easy, they said.
I was telling my wife about that shit. Because she asked about, like, what's the fucking difference between the fluids. I was like, oh, Isaac will tell you what the fucking difference is.
So for those of you who don't know the story, I had just bought this truck. It was an 85 4Runner at the time. It was 29 years old. I was super excited. I was like, dude, I can work on this myself, you know. blah, blah, blah. So the first issue I had was a brake caliper that had seized up. So I can change a brake caliper. That's not that hard, you know. But in order to change a brake caliper, there's no way you're going to not get air in the line. So after changing the brake caliper, I went to bleed the brake system and noticed that the brake fluid was low in the reservoir. So, you know, pop open the brake fluid canister, pour some in, let the thing run, pump the brakes a few times, glance at the canister I just poured in there. Oh, that's power steering fluid. So I called my mechanic in a panic. Hey, that rhymes. And I said, Matt, I just put power steering fluid in my brake line. How screwed am I? He goes, well, how long did you run it? And I go, yeah. He goes, yeah, you're screwed.
You is fucked.
So I spent the next 3 or 4 hours flushing the brake lines with alcohol. And oh my God, I was panicked. Because otherwise I'm going to have to replace the entire brake line system on this truck, you know. So I will say, though, that happened 7 years ago, 6-7 years ago.
No issues.
And no issues since then.
Yeah, I think it was too diluted to really.
Yeah, I mean, I jumped on it right away. I probably put a gallon of alcohol through the brake system.
Yeah.
So
I've never, when I've done calipers, I've never had to bleed the system.
Well, with some of them, there might be a different way of doing it, but with this older vehicle, I mean, I had to pinch the line above the caliper, and you know, there's definitely going to be air in there.
I wouldn't have done that.
And then, I mean, of course, I went to go check the reservoir, and that's when I saw that it was low. So, have you ever changed your brakes and forgot to bleed them, and then taken it out for a test drive?
I've never had to bleed them. I've never bled them.
That's an adventure.
Yeah, I've never needed to bleed them.
Driving, I changed the brakes on my van and I took it out for a drive and I went to hit the brakes and I had no brakes.
Nice.
So normally what you do is just pump them, keep pumping them until you get your brake pressure back. But yeah, that was a fun moment there.
Good experience.
Oh yeah, yeah.
No, I've never bled the brakes. Maybe I just do it right and then don't have to do it
right. Yeah. Just do it right, and then you have nothing to worry about. Yeah, I mean, I do learn a lot when I'm working on cars, usually from making huge mistakes.
Yeah.
But yeah, what can you? I mean, I drove. I changed the radiator on my truck and didn't know that I needed to burp the system.
Oh, that's fun.
So immediately overheated.
Nice. I did that the very first time I changed out a thermostat.
Yeah.
And obviously it was pretty low on fluid, just because of the way it all, the fluid exchange and all that shit. Either way, overheating, changed the thermostat, and it was okay. And then it started overheating again. I'm like, motherfucker. And then that's when I read the book and I was like, oh, I missed this last step.
That's don't read the book.
Yeah, don't read the book because you get excited after you complete the job. And
yeah, well, I electrocuted myself after I read the book.
What?
Yeah, I was changing the power cord on my dryer from a 3-prong to a 4-prong or something like that, and I casually attached the ground wire to just where I thought it should go. And I attached it to the wrong place, but I didn't attach it to a bad place. I just attached it to a place different than what the book said. So after going through all the trouble of changing the cord, plugging the thing in, hooking up the vent, muscling this thing into place because it was too big for the spot, so I had to fight to get it into the closet.
Yeah.
I opened the book and I was like, oh my God, this wire's in the wrong place. Well, instead of wrestling the thing out again, I'll just climb on top of it and reach around the back and change it from there. And in doing so, forgot to unplug it and electrocuted myself.
So it was the book's fault.
Yeah.
For you not doing
because if I hadn't read the book, it would have been fine. I would have left the ground where it was, and it was in an acceptable place, you know. It was attached to a piece of metal. So
Oh, so good. So Cody's a mechanic. Do you bleed the brakes, fucker?
I'm sure he's got it down to where he doesn't even
No, he
have
doesn't
to.
because he does it right.
He does it right. Yeah.
does it
He's got $150 Snap-on sockets,
The
man.
the biggest cockiest thing I have ever done with a car. No fucking proper tools. I think I had a 50-piece set of fucking tools, a 2-ton jack, and a 1989 Ford Bronco 2. And I was like, fuck you. I'm not paying anyone to fucking change out the clutch. I got this. Middle of the fucking winter, take this bitch to the back. I was like, I'll probably be done in about 4 or 5 hours. Not a big fucking problem. 4 days later, motherfucker. What the fuck?
Was it rattling like crazy or shaking or
No, it took me 4 days
Oh,
to
it took you
fucking
4
4 days.
I'm surprised it took you 4 days. It seems like you'd be out there 24/7 until it was done.
No, that motherfucker got done. And I makeshifted a fucking transmission jack out of that 2-ton jack with some 2x4s. Like, fuck it, we're just gonna fucking make this motherfucker work. In the process, I learned about how gas vapors are what explodes and not the liquid itself. Because again, this was the dead of winter, so it was fucking snowing. It was cold as shit. So I was making myself a fire, and I grabbed gasoline in a little 5-gallon container, and I start dumping it. And that shit comes up, catches the fucking can on fire. Whoop. Like, well, that shit.
I know a lot of people with that story, and I'm surprised it never happened to me, where the gas can is all of a sudden on fire. But that's got to be a nerve-wracking moment.
Oh, dude, when it went whoop, I was like, God damn. Luckily, it was one of those moments where the front fucking blew up and not where the handle was. See, you shouldn't fucking bleed the brakes.
Yeah, that's what I've been taught. You only need to do it if you're getting soft brakes. Yeah. So
That's right.
I had a guy tell me once that he had that same thing. The gas can caught on fire right at the nozzle, and he just quickly threw the cap on and screwed it on, and that was the end of the fire, which I believe, but I cannot believe he had the presence of mind to do that.
Oh, no, dude. As soon as I seen that shit, I was like, I'm fucked.
Yeah.
And then I had no time to think. Like, I didn't have a second to put the cap on. It was just like, whoop, poof.
Yeah. I saw a video on YouTube of a guy get gas can caught on fire, and he threw the gas can, and the entire backyard went up in flames.
Nice.
I have had vapor catch on fire before. We were lighting a bonfire in the woods, and we dumped a gallon of gas on this pile of wood, and we threw a match on it, and the match didn't start the fire. And I bent over the wood pile to see where the match landed, and I saw it down at the bottom of the pile still burning. And I thought to myself, that match is still burning. And then all of a sudden, boom. And that was pretty exciting. I would recommend doing that at least once in your life. The improvised jack is definitely probably the #1 killer of amateur mechanics.
Oh yeah. Oh, I'm like, when I was doing it, I was like, if I fucking make it out of this is gonna be a fucking miracle. But that was only the transmission. It's not like I was doing it on the car itself, but still.
Yeah.
And it was a 1989 Ford Bronco 2. The transmission, if it would have it wasn't high enough that I was afraid for my life, but definitely the whole time I was thinking I'll probably lose a fucking leg here if this shit fucking falls.
Well, I think I told you this before, but my youth pastor was killed by a jack that fell on him.
Oh, shit.
Well, a vehicle that fell on him when his jack failed.
Oh.
But that the trailer we have down on the ranch, you have to use a jack to get it off because the what do you call it? The
onboard jack is fucked up.
The onboard jack is bent. So
yeah.
So as much as I have learned about cars and about being careful and mistakes and all of that stuff, I still make rookie stupid mistakes. And I'm trying to jack this trailer off the back of the Dodge. and I'm jacking it, and the jack itself is like a half-ton or 1-ton jack, so it can't handle this stress.
Yeah.
And it's bending left and right, and it's
Jeez.
it's going crazy, and I'm jacking it up, and all of a sudden the rear wheel on the truck starts spinning, and I look over, I'm like, what is that noise? And the rear wheel is off the ground and and spinning because I have left the truck in reverse because I was trying to rock the truck back and forth to get this ball loose, and it wouldn't come loose, and I'm like, oh crap, what have I done? And so
Fucking
I get in the truck, I put it back in park, I get this thing down, and
You clean your
eventually,
shorts?
what's that?
Your shorts?
Yeah. So eventually I pull the truck forward and back hard enough that the trailer comes loose from the ball, and when it does, the truck jumps like a foot, and I get out and I look, and the trailer hookup is about I'm trying to be conservative here. It's about 18 inches away from the ball. That's how far off it was when it let go.
Jeez.
I shouldn't be here. That's how I operate. Like, yeah. So I'm a lucky man. I'm a very lucky man. I think I'm blessed. I think I think I have the Ring of Jesus fire. I don't know if you've got the Ring of Jesus fire, but I definitely have the Ring of Jesus fire.
I probably not.
Do you know about the Ring of Jesus fire? Oh man, you haven't seen Three Kings?
I have not.
Oh, okay. So I try to be careful when I am working on cars, but I always know that this could be the last thing I ever do. And I've never had a jack collapse on me, but I've had some kind of scary moments.
I've only had one, and this was after I left Royal Palooza one time.
Oh yeah, you had a flat tire.
I had a flat tire, and I was changing it. I got done changing the fucking flat tire using the jack that comes in the vehicle. I was in a relatively level spot. I always make sure to put on my emergency brake. I've changed so many fucking flat tires. Like we got that process down to a T. So anyways, I get done. I'm tightening up the lug nuts. It's still in the air, so I could only tighten them up so much, but enough to fucking get him good. And then I tighten up the last one, and then about 5 seconds later, woof, the whole fucking thing falls down.
And you're like, sweet, now I don't have to lower the jack.
That's exactly what the fuck I thought. Like the first was like, oh shit. And then the second thought was like, yeah, fantastic. Like this is where I wanted it anyways. I don't give a fuck.
You look at your watch, you're like, record time. Dude, that's scary. Do you know why it fell off?
No, it was dark, and no, I don't know. The only thing I can think of is it wasn't perfectly level where I was at. This was right after the tunnel. Like right after. So right before it starts
uphill, yeah.
So it wasn't 100% level. I wasn't up. I wasn't like at a complete incline yet. I had just left that shit, so it wasn't fully level.
Man, imagine how pissed you would be if that had fallen before you got the wheel on.
Dude, fuck yeah, dude. I'd have been fucked at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd have been fucked because there was no cell service at that point on the property.
I think you haven't lived a colorful enough life if you don't have enough experiences that taught you that luck is a real thing.
Yeah, dude. Because I would have had to walk back.
A good hydraulic jack and jack stands in your trunk
at all times.
That's a lot to carry.
At all times, a fucking racing jack too, dude.
Yeah.
A fucking 17-ton racing jack.
But I agree that scissor jack is dangerous.
Oh, it's bullshit.
Yeah. But I think you could, like a bottle jack. What about a bottle jack? Wouldn't
bottle
be-
jacks are good.
I
I
mean,
bought.
it's not as stable as a floor jack or a hydraulic. Well, okay, so that could be a hydraulic jack, a bottle jack. Yeah. Oh, my dad had a '68 Dodge Dart, a bumper jack. Jeez. Yeah, that's crarazy.
This is what
Bottle
I'm gonna
jacks are
start.
unstable. You're unstable.
Still, this is what I'm gonna start carrying in the back of my foot. All of my cars.
A 6-ton jack.
Fucking
Man, you want an American-made jack? Those things are expensive, dude.
oh,
Those things are like $300.
fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Even at Harbor Freight, they're fucking $300.
Yeah, bumper jack is a shitty version of a high lift jack. Might as well just have a high lift jack. Why not? Those aren't dangerous either. That's really going to hurt your quarter mile time, dude, if you have one of those in your trunk.
Portable car lift.
So I had a
Just gonna carry one of these.
Just put a whole lift in your car.
It's one of these, dude.
Why not, dude?
Just fucking carry those.
I didn't even know those existed.
Oh, look, have you seen these ones?
Heck yeah, dude, that's awesome.
Your
I
fucking
would not,
car just rocks on that bitch.
I would not get under that car.
No.
No way.
Oh, dude, your car just rocks on that bitch, dude.
Not the way I work on cars, dude.
Look at that shit.
That thing would fall on me so hard. Yeah. You don't need a 3-ton jack for passenger vehicles. You do the way I work on them.
Look at you changing a tire and then just
Jeez.
boom.
That's
Oh no, I
awesome.
need to work on the other side. Don't you worry, motherfucker.
What?
Motherfucker over.
Dude, I need one of those. Oh, I like it.
That's what I'm gonna carry in the back of my fucking car.
We need one of those in the ranch.
Oh, look at that pussy right there. This pussy.
So I knew a guy when I was growing up who had a car roll off of a what do you call those? A ramp jack. Ramps. Not
Yeah.
a jack, but the ramps. Rolled off the ramps and rolled over his head.
Jesus.
But that vehicle did not have an engine in it. So
He survived.
He looked like he got in a fight with
the
every,
car?
with every one of the Avengers. Yeah, it literally did drag his face down the driveway for a few inches at least. So, yeah, that was a bad day for him.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I really don't like getting under cars because I have this weird thing that happens in my head when I'm doing something stupid and dangerous. I can picture what I'm going to look like after the horrible thing has happened. I can picture me laying there with my head smashed in. I picture my family coming out and finding me. I picture it becomes very real for me, and I just really don't like getting underneath cars.
Yeah.
So
fuck that shit.
Yeah.
I'm gonna switch gears here. I'm Googling it right now to see from people who have experience. We filed a 1023 EZ for the 501c3, which is essentially an expedited process for this stuff. I don't think this is correct though. So a lot of the people are saying it takes 2 to 4 weeks to get your determination letter. But I think the IRS right now says if your application was submitted after August 6th, it has not been assigned to anybody. So
it's like
we're
the forms. Nobody knows.
Nobody knows. So there's a lot of people are saying 2 to 4 weeks is usually where you're at. And we've already been, I think I submitted that on the 16th, which is 1 to 3 weeks on Wednesday.
Yeah. Well, it'll happen soon. It'll happen before Christmas, right?
Fucking better.
Better. Yeah. Yeah, GFE National is progressing forward. David, keep an eye out for an email. I'm going to be scheduling a meeting. David, when do you come back from Alaska? Remind us if you're not already back. I think you said you were coming back on the 10th. All right, I have a closing clip here.
Okay.
You may have seen this before, but it's always worth a revisit, especially in this context. I was watching this video, and I thought, this is what it feels like to hang out with Edgar in a professional setting. Like hanging out with Edgar by yourself is no big deal. Hanging out with Edgar in front of other people, this is kind of what.
Wait. Before you say that, do you know how many times in the class I mentioned that I was the owner of the largest handgun training company in the state of Colorado?
It's got to be at least twice.
Zero.
I started telling people that we've had 1% of the population of the state come through our classes.
13%. Oh, you have the population. Yeah. No, zero. I actually went in there and I just let people be like, wow, that guy's really, really good. Slow, but really, really good.
Yeah.
And they thought I was just a magician.
Nate has a garage full of tools and he's not using them. We should go to Nate's house to fix our stuff.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, I think that's what we should do.
Steal his stuff.
All right, so this is what it's like hanging out with Edgar.
And I don't have no comment to that, because it's his campaign. How would you respond to that? Hey, I don't know who said that. You're the only one I heard say that. You know what I mean? And I don't have no comment to that, because it's negative and you're being negative. And I met the mayor, right? And nothing they can do about it. We actually had a really good time. We talked about George Trevallo,
trying to smooth things over.
In your city, great man with whom Mike spent quite a bit of time yesterday talking about his life, highs and lows. So interesting. You come across like a nice guy, but you really.
Do you have the link, or do you want me to send it to you?
Oh, send it to me really quick because I want to watch the video. Every time I watch that video, that fucking video is amazing.
Yeah, so I'm the guy on the couch trying to talk Edgar down from what he wants to do right here.
Oh yeah, they got to see this shit because he's not wrong.
This is not the greatest copy. This is filmed. This is like recorded off the TV or something. But
yeah. So here we go. Let me put the audio on and share screen. Boom, boom. Joe Rogan ain't got shit on me.
No, I didn't read up on. I watched him on television, right? In the States, and he's a big hit in the States. Big hit. Now, some of your critics would say, there's a race for mayor. We know you're a convicted rapist. This could hurt his campaign. How would you respond to that? Hey, I don't know who said that. You're the only one I heard say that. You know what I mean? And I don't have no comment to that. Because it's negative, and you're being negative, and I met the mayor. Right. And nothing they can do about it. We actually had a really good time.
Here's Isaac.
We talked about George Trevallo.
Settle down.
Legend in your city.
Settle
Great
down.
Man. Who Mike spent quite a bit of time yesterday.
Settle down, Mike.
Edgar contemplating.
Highs and lows. So interesting that you come across like a nice guy, but you're really a piece of shit. Hey, come on. No, that was a piece of fuck you. That was a piece of shit. We're doing live TV. Hey, I don't care. What are you gonna do about it? All right, you got a show that you're doing tonight. We are. A lot of people. We are. Where it covers raw and it's the real truth. Yeah, a lot of people will be there to see your show. Just tell us a bit about it. It speaks for itself. Everyone saw the show. All right. It's a Broadway production. It went to Vegas. It went to actually 28 cities in the United States. And we're really, really proud to bring it here. And we're actually going to Monaco on October 9th. We're going to be in Monte Carlo. Right.
He wants to kill him, dude.
Is it more nervous for you to box? How does it compare? I don't know. It's more nerve-wracking for me here is talking to a rat piece of shit like you. Because you're a piece of shit. All right. We're gonna wrap up this interview. Thank you for coming.
I don't know what he was expecting, Like he had this look on his face like he was disappointed in Mike Tyson for talking to him like that. And it's like that's exactly what you wanted him to do. And Tyson is deciding how hard to punch him in the face. You can see a body language change in him during that interview.
Dude, when we were in, I still don't know. I think I have an idea who texted me, but I still don't know who the fuck texted me when I was in. When we were in SHOT Show and we were doing that panel. And all of a sudden I get a text in like the middle of the fucking panel. And then the text, all it says is like, you are not good at hiding your emotions at all.
You don't remember who sent that to you?
No, because I'm sure every time somebody said something stupid, I'd be like, what the fuck?
It was probably a female.
Oh, probably.
Yeah.
Frenchie, probably, huh?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
So Nate says he's an angry toddler. He is kind of an angry toddler, but I don't know. I think
not
maybe
funny.
some
It's not
people
funny.
have earned that that privilege to be an angry toddler. I don't know. All I know is the world is a better place with Mike Tyson in it.
Oh, dude. So now you know what it's like to be with me in a professional setting. Isaac just mostly anticipating me fucking someone up for saying some stupid fucking rat piece of shit stuff.
We're very excited about our progress. Shut up, dude. Shut up. Don't say it. No, man, you're a piece of shit. God damn it.
That's just incredible.
I love listening to Mike Tyson talk.
Oh, man.
I love the fact that there is a stone cold killer that sounds like a 13-year-old girl.
The clip we shared last week was incredible, man. When people were laughing, I wish I would have played the whole thing because there was more than one moment where people were laughing. Like, no, it's not funny, man. Like, it's not funny.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that was a joke. That was a joke.
It's not funny, man. I think I might actually kill somebody.
He did. Oh, I think I mentioned it when he was talking to Sugar Ray Leonard.
So
and he was telling him how much he admired him, like, oh, I fucking admire you. And he started crying, like, and Sugar Ray, out of nervousness, like, what the fuck do I do with the crying Mike Tyson? Like,
yeah, talk about awkward, dude. You're not gonna hug the guy.
Kind of fucking smirked. He's like, no, it's not funny, man. Yeah, like, you just don't know how fucking incredible you are. And like, like, what the fuck? This is crying. So you don't know if to be like fucking honored or scared or like, what the fuck do I do here? Maybe I should start smoking weed. Like, what the fuck?
There's no safe reaction in that moment. Nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. So, so this fight's going to happen between Mike Tyson and Roy Jones Jr., and I'm assuming there will not be an audience.
Well, it's going to be after the election, so probably going to be an audience.
If Joe Biden wins, then there will be an audience.
There will be an audience.
I'm just thinking about how depressing it would be for this fight to happen and there'd be nobody there.
Oh man! Well,
I mean,
there's already been a lot of boxing matches that are like that.
Mm-hmm. Well, the UFC's doing it like that too.
My boxing hero Julio Cesar Chavez had he has a yearly charity match with El Travieso, and it was with no audience.
That's so sad.
People, I'm still like surprised how underrated Julio Cesar Chavez is. He definitely
I think he was respected in his time, but I think people forget about him now. Plus, he wasn't a heavyweight, and heavyweights are the ones that get all the attention.
Oh no, but you talk about like greats of all time, and people bring up non-heavyweights at all. See, Tisha knows I fall asleep to Mike Tyson. That shit soothes me. But like this motherfucker went 86-0, and he definitely took it past his prime. But he has the same amount of losses as Mike Tyson, but in 115 fights.
Mm-hmm.
Mike Tyson didn't even cross 60, I don't think.
Mike Tyson's career was pretty short.
Yeah, it was pretty short. Mike Tyson, what's the fuck's his record?
Cocaine is a hell of a drug.
58 and 6 losses. Julio Cesar Chavez went 115 on cocaine, by the way. Julio Cesar Chavez was a big-time cokehead. He's from Sinaloa. I mean, you can't be from Sinaloa and not be a fucking cokehead.
You know who else is a cokehead?
Who?
Biden.
Yeah. Bread.
Come on, man. Yeah.
Anyways, next week you'll hear me rant again about Julio Cesar Chavez until he gets his fucking respect.
Yeah, you know what I find funny about this is I really don't know anything about boxing, and I don't ever hear you talk about boxing except we somehow always come back to boxing at the end of the show.
Well, you put on Mike Tyson, so
I guess yeah, definitely. Comfort him carefully. Comfort with care.
Comfort with-
Okay, so I did fix the donation link, and I meant to like have an actual donation segment, but I need to work on that. But the donation week link is working again, and so we're gonna do a better job of that next week when we meet again. Next week, I will be turning 39 that week.
39.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Old as hell. I should run for president.
Old, dude.
Yeah. So got that to look forward to, and I'm sure some more interesting and fun things will happen. And thank you guys for listening. This one went a little bit longer than usual, but it's Monday night. Why not?
Why the fuck not? I appreciate you guys. Wash your motherfucking asses. Get in between the motherfucking cheeks. Get those little crumbs out. Your hair and your fucking butt needs to fucking be combed a little bit as well.
Combed and braided before you go to bed.
For the one or two ladies that listen to us, fucking wash that cooch. Get that fucking cheese out of that motherfucker. Nobody likes to eat with excessive cheese. We shall see you motherfuckers next week.